Are any of you the same stack? But again... Oh, and the fixation of Severance of Souls. 7 volumes about that. They tricked me by being in the dark.
Hello.
Hi, Perp.
Hello.
He's
Clocking
here.
in for my shift.
It only took 7 years of teasing.
You sorted the right amount of purple books. You unlocked Perp.
Bask was just like, I think he might have accidentally shadow banned you.
Oh no.
What did you do?
What have you done to deserve this?
Perp murdered in broad daylight by Bask. It's just a recurring phrase for me today, apparently.
It's a good phrase.
It can't all be originals when you talk for 8.5 hours straight. Some might say you shouldn't talk for 8.5 hours straight, and to them I say, you are to be murdered broad daylight.
Yep.
Blue, maybe? I need a fucking flashlight in this game. The extent to which this would be easier if I could just shine a light on the things I'm holding to see what color they are
Is there
in
a
a more
light
objective
spell?
way. No.
Alright.
At least not any of the ones you get from leveling. Otherwise I might have cracked. That doesn't feel like a contradiction of what's fun about the game. Ooh, fluid. I know I have a fluid shelf. Final fluid shelf. Let's put this in a green stack.
Final fluid.
What is the final fluid? Is it gender fluid?
Yes. The final form.
Book of Spells.
It's just a
Expert
Fantasia from
fluid.
Final Fantasy 14. It's gender fluid.
Yeah.
What is fluid gonna be?
Water.
Fluid
Maybe
expert.
alchemy? I mean, when I think alchemy, it's usually like an potion. Fluid.
How do you do, Perp?
I do good.
Are you doing a big draw?
I've been doing a big draw, yes. That's trying to finish shit up for tomorrow. I've been processing Summer Games Fest still. Like,
There's been so many announcements. Crazy.
yeah, it feels like there's a lot of stuff that I'm actually like kind of semi-interested in. It's not necessarily like the highest profile stuff, but like, hey, fucking Spyro, all right.
Yeah, no, Spyro. Oh, he looks so good. Like his brows look incredible.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Nicholas Cole, the guy who like did all the art, is like still on, or if they're just kind of like working with his stuff from this point on. Because it seems like a whole, like it's a new look, new world, but you know it fits in with the Toys for Bob aesthetic. So
Yeah.
Is Toys for
I'm mostly
Bob
just curious 'cause-
like the Skylanders thing?
no, I don't think so. At least, like I think they also are the people that did the Crash remakes, if I'm not mistaken. Like they just kind of
like the
self-selected as
developers.
the
Okay.
yeah the 3D platformer revival studio. It's mostly just interesting because I'd say, like, as far as old 3D platformers go, like, I like Spyro. The gameplay is not the strongest. Like, it's not.
No.
Yeah, I've never been
Like,
drawn. I've
I
never
mean,
had any
everything else is
draw
awesome.
to go back to Spyro at all.
The hot
yeah.
Dragon Dads was a pretty solid draw.
Dragon Dads!
But yeah,
Yeah, the
gameplay-
remake one, like where like there's that dragon that's like really big.
Well,
Which
there's
one?
a few of them. For me, is the dragon that had tattoos and gauges in his horns.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that one.
Oh God, he could do anything to me. That was crazy.
He's like a sexy tattooed wizard guy.
But he's like a barista.
He's a barista.
Yeah, he does coffee magic shit.
Coffee magic? That's wild.
Yeah.
I don't know
Shit.
anything about Spyro. I played at least one of them as a kid, along with like Croc and stuff like that, but like have not
Yeah,
gone back to
Croc.
any of that stuff since then.
Croc, there's like Ty.
Hi, the Tasmanian tiger.
Yeah, the mascot platformers that were but never were.
The suspicious origins of everyone being a furry.
Yes.
Well, it's like, I guess that is the real achievement of something like Spyro, is that it was one of the few things that managed to kind of effectively capture kids' imagination with like a proper Saturday morning cartoon vibe, where it's like, I had Croc and I kind of liked Croc, but Croc was also kind of scary because it was so like abstract and kind of surreal.
Yeah.
Just a lot of like wide open cavernous space. It's kind of like 90% of the game is like you're in Mario underworld vibes. The big worm enemy scared the hell out of me because he would like growl and snap at you, and it was like the closest thing to a jump scare my 4-year-old mind could comprehend.
For me, it was fucking God damn it, Banjo-Kazooie with the fucking giant nightmare shark. My language center,
Oh, I
my brain
remember
shutting
that.
down.
Yeah,
Like the,
no, that freaked me out.
The beach shark was scary, but then later on there's a giant mechanical shark the size of the entire level, and you're meant to just like swim towards it. And I'm like, or I could never play again. That's a pretty good option.
Yeah.
I most decided on never playing the game again. One to the black corner. Honestly, this system's mostly paid off. Things are coming up. Wait, Millhouse.
This game does kind of serve as a reminder that like the most successful cozy games are the ones that have a unique premise. Because out of the whole like cozy game industry, all the Stardew likes, everything that's trying to ape that whole system.
Yeah, they always
you
try
gotta do something
so
that's,
hard
like,
to copy
truly
existing
unique.
things. Enchantment? Okay, so So the enchantment table has a bunch of 3s next to it. Forging magical items, that's probably just 3. It's time to deduce some information here. Maybe like, hang on a minute, maybe some of these aren't. I'm not finding more of these because some of them really do just cap out at 3. The magic ring that steals reason, that's an enchantment item. Yep. Oh, we're getting progress now.
It's all coming together.
Artifacts. We're at 60. Everyday magic for deep restful sleep. That could be a 3 set, but I guess daily magic at 2C. Oh no, I said the sleep word. Every time I do that, somebody is slain. Home magic, that screams daily magic. Oh, we're cracking the code, boys. I don't know why I say we. None of you guys deserve the credit. It's all me. I'm based and awesome.
It is like you are doing like 99.99% of the brain power.
Oh, that literally has a 4 on it, so it's obviously not a set of 3.
I'm emotional support at best.
Is this the kind of system that like things will like gradually speed up exponentially as you just kind of fully sort these piles and just start putting in whole rows at a time?
Yeah. And also, it's like the fewer books there are to choose from, just naturally the easier it is for you to find the ones that you're looking for because there's fewer things to clutter. So,
right.
You will just fully hit an escalating speed curve.
Compendium of magic. Have I put these somewhere? The Grand Compendium of Magic, Illusion Magic. Yep, these were literally already here. I just forgot. That's a full set. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's part of the reason for me to split them into colors, because I can essentially divide this game into like 8 little Mario worlds instead of trying to parse the giant needle in the haystack mess. Because yeah, in the long term, it eventually turns into like, it's like playing match 2s, where eventually you've got so many of them done that the remaining stuff's going to fall over so fast.
Yeah.
That's the last 10 volume of Illusion Magic. The rest are 3s. Actually, are there side shelves? Nope. Wait, were those glowing? This is relics. I forgot where the illusions were. It's gonna suck if I just don't notice that it doesn't light up at some point, and then just walk away.
And you're just like, what the hell is happening? Why isn't it working?
I'm sitting there trying to figure out why something's wrong. Illusion Magic's the tall one back here, right? The one that's really filled in. My single most visited shelf, and I forgot where it was. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, there's sets of 3. Introduction to Enchantment Theory. Yeah, you get so used to doing sets of 10, but some of them don't have to be sets of 10. Oh, this breakthrough is tons of progress all of a sudden. Oh, that's 4 right there. Enchanting gear, 1 through 3. Oh, I feel so smart and cool right now. Even though it's not even a puzzle. Me when I follow the instructions, but the instructions are just really long, so I feel like I did something.
It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle of attrition.
feel like it's more of a psychological attack. Oh yeah, this might just be a 3-volume mathematics set. Yep. That makes sense.
Meanwhile, I didn't sort things by color at all. I went, alchemy, that's in that direction. I'll just kind of throw them in that direction. Holy magic and healing magic, I know where those go. I'll only move those ones. And just sift through the piles a few times until I find the ones that I'm looking for.
Cursed.
Yep. I never claimed to be good at games.
Oh, these are 2 different sets.
Yeah, when I play this, I'm definitely going to be taking the lazy way out.
You're just gonna use the magic?
Yeah, probably. Unless I find it
so
boring. And then I'll probably, you know.
Which it does get boring when you can just like grab one book and then summon the other 9 in the
yeah, that one's
into
crazy.
your hand.
I feel like
I'm just like
some of the other ones, like where it like lights it up, and it's like when it's like in a pile, it's like sure I could see that. But when it's just like summon all the other books, it's like okay, well.
This one's clearly made for speedrunners.
Yeah,
It's not worth that. Okay. I had very partial attempts to stack some stuff up, and then I was like, those don't work out. Wait. Once again, it was right there. It's hard to remember what's on the shelves already, damn. Get in there, you prick. Okay. Are these already somewhere? Shattered Mind.
it's about time for me to head to bed. But thanks for inviting me.
Alrighty. Yeah, good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
100% just fucking around right now.
Okay, good night.
I never found the language evolution books. It's probably just a set of 3. Chemical tools, laboratory apparatus. Wait, was there a stack of civilization books back here? Fuck. It's really hard to have object permanence. Oh, those are different books. Wait. Evolution of civilization. Oh, this is the origins of language. Fuck. Are there purples with 2 belts anywhere? Not those. That's suspicious. Chemical. Is alchemy a back shelf thing? Because that's 1 through 5. Probably. the wrong way again. I keep mixing up the floors with each other. We've done it. We're on our 3rd generation of people. But everybody's sleepy.
Yeah, you've prestiged.
Yeah, it was Bird and Toma. Oh, Toma's back.
Oh, it's back.
Toma returns.
I summoned them mid-word.
What did you?
That was
did you
crazy.
say naughty things about me?
I was just talking about how we're like in our 3rd generation of people. Because it was Toma and Bird, and then Roscoe and Bask, and here we're Perp and Ansu.
Fair. I just want to pop in and say hi and good night. Wayne, you guys have a good night.
Night.
Good night, Toma.
Don't lose yourself in the books. Make sure you get plenty of sleep.
Lose yourself in the music the moment you want it. You better never let it go. You want to get one shot, don't miss a chance to flow. Opportunity goes once in a lifetime, you better.
Okay.
Only one more illusory book left. It's so purple
Illusory
over
books?
here. It's so purple over here. Ooh, I want that. What color are some of these? God damn it.
Dang it,
I don't-
Bobby.
I don't want to read
Stop
that. I
taking
don't want to
those
read
books
their
and putting them in the
text.
wrong
Just
shelf.
tell me what color they are. The Severance of Souls. I remember this one.
Did either of you play Diablo 2 back when that was a thing?
Yeah. A lot.
That's kind of what I figured. It's like either it was your whole shit or you never touched it.
Blissfully unaware.
Yeah, I just recently got into the resurrected version. I guess it's the kind of thing where, like, even if I never played Diablo, it's like you can immediately see how it's so intertwined with the DNA of like current modern gaming, and it's like, okay, I've kind of played Diablo 2 quite a bit actually, because it's just so, I guess, like, honestly, the one that makes me think of the most is just Vampire Survivors, where it's just kind of like, hey, slot machines, yay. Like,
yeah, it has a certain charm to it where they kind of had the right blend of difficulty mixed in to their monotonous, easy game with 2 buttons. Because like Diablo 2 barely has any buttons in it. There's just like not that much depth to it. But it had a million little systems and progressions things, but it also like wasn't so nakedly an infinite treadmill the way that like a lot of modern ones are. Like Diablo 3 was frustrating because it was like too easy and too uninteresting in how these a lot of systems were implemented, but also like the how do I put this? These are probably I'm probably calling these brown books. There's like just a frustrating aspect to where like it was so nakedly about consuming all of your time, when it was more like Diablo 2 like almost like accidentally ate up all your time just because it was like that, and just like it just sucked you in. But the series went on to be all about wasting your time on a crazy scale, which was very frustrating, and the whole genre became that. So like anything, all the dungeon crawly type games and eventually like gacha games and so on all just became about like how to keep creating more systems that make you want to play forever. And Diablo 2 just kind of like happened to consume your life. It's like a happy accident.
yeah, that is, I don't know how far I'm gonna get into it, because it's just that is my thing that I'm trying not to be like repelled by is like, you know, my friend immediately tells me like, you should probably look up a build guide and just like get a sense for how to invest because like respecking is not free. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. And I'm just going for like Lightning Sorceress, which seems pretty basic, pretty easy, and I can just like wrap my head around how that whole play style is supposed to work. But every single build guide in the world is like, oh, what, you're not like already on your 5th run of Hell mode? What are you doing? And it's kind of like there are no guides interested in like your first 60 hours of the game, because it's just like,
from what I remember, it's not that hard to make a build like just as a newbie in Diablo 2, because just like the skills literally say which ones that they upgrade as synergies.
Yeah.
So you and the game is so simple that most of the time you just like pick what's the main attack you want to use all the time. At least this is how I played it anyway. It's like, what's the main attack you want to use all the time? Okay, what are all the other abilities that add damage to that attack, basically, and just like stack all the synergies you can. There's like some builds where you're casting more than one thing or something, but like it felt like you could do with so many characters, you kind of were just pressing one thing, unless you had like summons to do between the fights. Because real no-brain mode was just to do all summons as a druid or a necromancer. But it's just a fuck around game. The thing about like when you learn more about it, especially when you learn more about the online community, usually, unless they've changed something about it, which would defeat the purpose of a remake, I guess. You can just level to near maximum in a single day by just exploiting the types of runs that people do in lobbies. So like, I would just focus on just playing through the campaign first and just getting to experience what like all the levels are and the boss fights in not so rushed context, and then you'll inevitably realize how most people play the game, which is that they blitz the entire thing extremely quickly over and over again, and like whenever they have an idea for a new build, they just make that character on the spot and can have that character pretty much maxed out and ready to go in like a couple days, because the game is just actually extremely fast compared to what you're probably used to in many cases. Like there are specific runs that are literally named after the boss that they just blitz over and over again, and they just do those runs in only a few minutes, and every single run gives you one or multiple levels and so on, and it's just like, it's so spammable and exploitable. Like it was I think part of the healthiness of the community was the fact that like the game just didn't eat all of your time all the time.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. It's enjoyable so far, because yeah, that's I've realized like I'm probably like tryharding a little bit with like looking up the guys, where it's like I haven't really died that much. It's like the dark edginess of the game has me like kind of on edge, where I'm like, oh, this is gonna get fucking rough, isn't it? And I like constantly, again, anytime you look up the guides, they're like talking about nightmare mode and hell mode, where it's like you've got inherent like minus this resistance to everything, but like normal, at least so far, does seem pretty straightforward. And like that was the interesting thing, is like I've played Divinity Original Sin, and that obviously like shares a lot of the same sort of game language, even though it's turn-based. But like I was kind of immediately expecting that sort of experience when it's like, oh, Act 1, I see what we're doing here. But then it's like, okay, so I've got these 6 quests on this quest screen. Like, what about the other quests? Like, no, that's all the quests. It's just those 6. Like, and then you go to the next act. And that is kind of like really a relief that I'm not constantly scrounging for like side quests and all this shit that I'm gonna miss, and like, oh, your build is totally fucked because you didn't do this thing before you went on to Act 2, you idiot.
It's not a super quest heavy game, yeah. If you look at the quest log, there's like 6 icons like total in each chapter or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It's not a ton of stuff to do, but if I remember correctly, they're missable. I think there are.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to say.
I think there are, in fact, missable quests throughout the campaign where when you progress to the next act, you lose permanent access to certain quests if you didn't do them, because the characters literally leave that act and move on to the next act.
Gotcha.
And that just becomes a thing you didn't do as that character. But I don't think a ton of them have significant rewards, or they have rewards you can achieve in other ways. but it's been 100 years. I definitely was not super attached to any of my individual characters because you could just make new ones whenever you felt like and be leveled and so on. It was just like, what did I want to experiment with at any given time? And it was just fun to like try out different weird builds. It's like making bad builds was part of the fun because you could just like fuck around and just see like, what if I made a, like I tried making a paladin that just exclusively specialized in vengeance, which is if you attack with your melee, you do as much damage as your melee in the form of every element at once. And I was just like, okay, every single energy-based damage aura on this character, if I level up those auras, all of them passively increase the damage of that element on this attack. So how far can I just continue to stack all these nonsense damage values as a character that then just potentially hits like a truck, but also like has zero trick to how he moves or acts. He literally just walks up to people and smacks them and doesn't like have any kind of like dash or mobility or cool things. And if it didn't work out, I just try again.
I started a warlock character because that I'm immediately like really interested in all the classes, and it's kind of like I don't want to just play through the whole game as source. It's like I want to see what else these other guys. So like with my furry party of friends that I'm playing through the game, it's like, okay, I'll take the werewolf. Well, you know I got to get the werewolf class, the druid. But then I also started to run with the new character that I guess is actually like really new. Like it only came out like 3 months ago. The warlock.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I don't remember there being a warlock in that game.
Yeah, it's Reign of the Warlock, and it also introduced a bunch of like quality of life inventory stuff. So that was why I think this group of friends was finally like, let's check it out. But yeah, he summons a bunch of demons that are kind of like, it's sort of like I guess the necromancer is about summoning like hordes of enemies, whereas the warlock it's just like you max out at like 3, but they're really strong, but they're super hot goat men. And then I'm just little twink warlock with a dagger that I use like but that's kind of the weird thing is like as that class you're just kind of like, all right, goat man, play the game. And I'm kind of like what am I supposed to be doing as a warlock? And that's the kind of stuff that I'm really looking for with guides, where it's just kind of like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing as the warlock? And they're like, oh well, you're supposed to use your end game gear. I'm like, no, like what about the first time I'm playing it though? Like, how do I just normally play him?
The problem with playing basically every Blizzard game is that everything online is constantly is written for people that have already had like 100 hours in the game.
Yeah, just in the sweat mines.
Like it's very informative to watch Dan Olsen's video, why it's rude to suck at World of Warcraft, because it just gets into the weird community rut that these games develop, and just this sort of strange behaviors that come from that. Because it can be very surreal. The idea that when you're in certain social contexts, like just the act of like turning left or right can like piss people off because it's not the direction that they normally go in or something, and the entire community is playing these games on such autopilot that there is like always a correct way to do everything, even if there's no reason for that to be the correct way to do something. Even just playing those games with people that normally play them is often exhausting because they fucking blitz everything all the time. They're always moving so fast, and you're like, I don't even get to see the enemies. Why are you guys like this all the time? You're not even like seeing if I'm there or having a good time or even witnessing the game in any real functional way.
I guess Path of Exile 2 is supposed to be coming out in like the end of this year, like as of an actual full release, and I've got some friends who have like started into that series, and we think we're gonna like jump onto that next. But there is a real part of me that's like, I don't know, I think I like the 2002 school of design more than whatever Path of Exile is gonna. Like, I'm sure Path of Exile is better than wherever. Which is like funny because
the appeal of Diablo 2. Of Path of Exile 1 was meant to be, it's like Diablo 2, which 3 wasn't. Like its entire point as a product was to scoop the Blizzard's disappointed fans after Diablo 3 came out, That's why that Path of Exile functionally exists. But it's also it went in its own direction and tried to like create different optimizations for you to obsess over in its own strange way. This Path of Exile is fucking weird. It's a game where your skills come from your items instead of your build character.
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
It has a monstrously oversized sphere grid, like Final Fantasy X sphere grid style attribute tree, where you navigate the sphere grid to get your stat ups, and there's some other things on that, but none of that is your spells. All of your spells and abilities come from the equipment you get. So when you swap out your equipment, you end up having different abilities, and you have to like optimize for that and work around that. And so it makes the act of making builds extremely weird.
Well, I mean, it's not all from the equipment. You have like the skill gems that you can change in and out, but you do have to like attune the skill gems, and then you can level them, but you only level them by getting higher level skill gems. So like it's a weird system for sure, but like it's not like, oh, I got a better chest piece, so now my entire build changes. Like it can affect it if it has certain buffs to certain stats and stuff, but it's not specifically like, oh, you did this, so you have to change everything.
I definitely misremember some stuff just because I didn't commit to it, because I didn't like it very much. But in part because I always was playing with people that just like are too into it, so they always move so quickly and don't chill out, so I don't get to like actually absorb anything or tell what's happening, and they just make the experience of playing the game with them kind of torture.
Hooray! The reason why I hate playing games with people who have played extensively. This is why I don't play Minecraft with the people. This is why I don't play Factorio with people. This is why I don't play Terraria with people.
This is why I specifically liked the console version of Diablo 3, because your weird optimizing friends couldn't leave without you. You had to share a screen at all times. So you had to all be within one screen of each other, like in Gauntlet, the entire playthrough. And so they just had to like deal with you. So you even had to take turns leveling up, because you can only have 2 pause menus open at once. So it just made everybody just slow down and have a social experience instead of trying to optimize the fun out of the game every second. And that was a pretty chill time.
Diablo 3 was 2012, and Diablo 4 was 20. So there's like basically like a 10-year gap between each of these. So I'm just still trying to like wrap my head around like, wait, so is Diablo 2 still going if they just added a class? I guess they're just
that's weird.
Quirky like that.
That's very weird that they did that, but I guess I guess they did do the remake thingy, and then they did an expansion to the remake, because there were no expansions to Diablo 2 after the first expansion way back at the beginning. Like they had a normal expansion in the normal time window you'd expect an expansion to happen in, and then it just sat there having like maybe some like live service updates here and there, and like, oh, we're doing this season, a little bit of an event right now, but it wasn't like content as far as I know, really. But I guess they decided to do a like DLC for the HD remake thingy, which is very weird. But it's also what happened with like, it's happened a few times, because that also happened with what's it called? The Baldur's Gate remakes had new missions, somewhat controversially. These are blue, shit. I fucked up. Forgot what I was carrying.
The main thing I just need a guide for is like what gear I'm supposed to be saving or not, because I've got that, the compulsion to like hold on to something for the character build I'm probably never going to get around to. But the game does not really give a shit about giving you storage space. Like I can feel it's just got that like RE4 thing. It's like, no, that's your space.
Yeah, you just have that grid and then your stash. And your
I think
Roger
you only have like
Cube.
5 pages total of like shared character space, and it's like, oh, this thing takes up 6 grid spaces. So
Oh yeah, no,
if you really
it's
want
chunky
it.
space. Back when I was playing, people regularly had a bunch of alts, like alt characters.
Right, mule accounts,
That would,
right?
Yeah, they would have, entire mule accounts. Yeah, that would just be all these alts that run all their characters, carried all their items all the time. Because you physically cannot put them on your characters, and you had to spend 2 hours, I think, on every character in order to make them more permanent. Because otherwise, if you didn't play for 2 weeks, the game would delete them.
Oh shit!
That sounds annoying as hell.
Yep, there was a 2-week timer, I think, to delete any character you made if you hadn't played them for 2 hours yet. So you couldn't just spam the servers with a million alts that the game had to keep track of. So a lot of people had a bunch of alts that they were just regularly logging back into to reset the timers. And also to swap the items around, you had to have a friend, you had to open a lobby, have your friend join, come in with one character, drop the items on the floor, leave, come back on another character and pick up the items, and just hope your friend didn't just like steal everything from you.
No, that was interesting. The like a couple of reviews, like video essays that I immediately watched, are like talking about kind of the genesis of like MMO scam culture, where it's like oh yeah, you might have been like a 10-year-old that believed you were going to be given this really good item, but then they just logged out. Now you're up shit creek.
Yep, I had somebody that said they were inviting me to their guild, and they said to go on this website and click this link.
Oh shit.
Uh-huh. And it wasn't real. No, they it ran a macro that remaximized my Diablo 2 window and then clicked on each inventory slot and then the floor over and over again as fast as it could. And I was just stuck running diagonally in a direction once it ran out of things to drop on the floor. And he just sat and then they looked through all my stuff. And then he didn't end up taking any of it, he just left because all my stuff was shit. Because I didn't know the economy of the game and stuff because it was so much to keep track of.
Somehow even worse.
Didn't even get stolen from, goddamn.
Yeah. Genre is this?
I remember one time I logged into my friend's RuneScape, like OG RuneScape account, and I didn't take anything from her. I just walked around and like, hey, looking for a boyfriend. On her account. And so when she logged in next, this guy was like, hey baby, and she was like, what the hell?
Hey baby, you looking for a good time?
Did you at least get gold for GF?
Gold for GF?
No,
like
but
one of my few
I did
RuneScape
lose
things I
some.
know.
I did send her some stuff as like an apology for scaring her with a surprise boyfriend.
It's insane. Feeling cute might get you a boyfriend by accident.
No, it was very much intentional.
Was it an intentional prank or just like I didn't think about the consequences of this?
No, I was messing with her. But it was also just kind of like sort of euphoric for me to be walking around saying looking for a boyfriend.
Yeah.
As my closeted
I did it ironically.
However-year-old. Yeah, haha. It was a super fun jokey joke. Smile.
Maybe I might have called these black before. That might be why I can't find the rest of them. I'm almost done with purple. That'll be crazy. Maybe I'll do black next because it feels really easy to sort through these. What if I just never slept again?
I wish I didn't have to sleep. Sleeping's fucking annoying.
Oh, there's just one of them lying here. Oh no. Wait, there's also one of these just lying here. Line 1 through 5, that's suspicious. And that's that whole set. I bet this is a whole set too. I keep finding out that I'm like maybe more done than I thought. Mage Birth though, what the fuck?
Mpreg, but the M is just for
Yeah, where's
mage.
the Mpreg section?
Mage pregnancy.
Management. Maybe it refers to daily magic? Like it's household magic?
Management? That should be like economics or something. Right?
Well, management's a section. The book is called Ancient Manuscript Studies on Mage Birth.
Oh, gotcha.
But there's no 5-book section in the daily magic area. Sociology, maybe.
Yeah, I'm wondering what is the definition of sociology?
No 5s here. Oh, history. Ancient. Waka waka.
Waka waka.
Pew, 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 pew. Alright, I never put these away. Pour those away, damn. Philosophical studies in magic. Saw the video of the dumbest MAGA guy ever trying to claim that sociology leads to socialism. Yeah, that's why they have the same prefix. It's the study of socialism. Unironically, it might lead to socialism a little bit, because it's about... Oh, I didn't even register that's still wrong. Did I read the map backwards? There's the daily one again. God damn it. I misread the map every single time. Philosophy. 2J. Oh, it's the part that sticks out. The first part that sticks out. No. It's the last one that sticks out on the right. Okay. I either go to the wrong floor or I read the map backwards. I'm not a sociology guy, but I feel like it might lead to socialism on some level just because a lot of educations where you actually learn about large systems and so on and how the world works might lead to you thinking, oh, maybe this should be organized in a way that is beneficial to mankind. Yay, the nighttime lights are back on, which means my ability to judge colors is fucked up again and weird, but I can see better. In a paradoxical sense.
I really liked that video of the pronouns round, but it was just the breathing.
I
This is an incredible video.
hit Ansu with a combination of cognito hazards when we're hanging out on the couch, where I just the thoughts win every now and then when I see various videos. I'll just have my phone connected to the cast on the TV, and I'll just click random things that just show up, and one of them was just like the fucking pronouns rant, but it was only the moments where he's breathing between each time he says something. Just run end to end. So it's just him, just over the course of the video. It's like 15 seconds, but it's just him, like, essentially just breathing harder and harder and harder as he just gets more and more worked up. But we don't hear any of the things he said in between.
It was fucking incredible. 10 out of 10 video.
It was so fucking funny.
I saw that. I didn't know that was what it was from. Jesus.
Oh, you saw the breathing video?
Yeah, just the breathing video is like part of a compilation.
Oh, you don't know like what it was? You've never
Yeah,
seen
I
the
was just
fucking
like, this is a
pronouns
really
video?
interesting infomercial.
People have also done that with Trump. They'll like take some of his like longer speeches and just like, yep, here's all of the breaths that he took, and it's like a 2-hour video. Like, oh my god. Oh my god.
Y'all gotta respect your time a little more. It's insane.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
I was thinking of a different one where it's like a Spanish infomercial, so he's really animated.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just drop that in general for later. Wait,
God, wasn't the fucking pronouns guy over Starfield? Meaning that he's the most memorable part of Starfield? A game that no one remembers playing or coming out. I'm not sure if anyone on the planet actually played Starfield. I think they just like looked at it for a bit and then went, I think I get it. Imagine being that worked up over Starfield, a game that isn't even worth experiencing as art.
oh, I'm in the middle of the down the rabbit hole video about it right now.
About Starfield?
Oh no, it's EVE Online. Sorry.
Okay, I was like, what would there even be to talk about?
In my mind, I just thought those two things were like blended together. They're completely different.
Enchantment? Oh, I've got another 10 book set of enchantment. Yeah. 1G. Fucking pronouns. Fucking current day. It's like, okay. You're complaining that something's modern in a sci-fi future game? Like the basis of that argument is to complain about modern things being in a fantasy or history kind of thing, which is already when it's fantasy in particular is stupid because fantasy isn't necessarily historical to begin with. But complaining about that is so silly when you're talking about a game that takes place in the future. They probably have even more pronouns in the future. That's just technology, bro. I'm probably counting this as green.
Even fantasy stuff is like, oh well, it's medieval. Well, no.
Yeah.
No, because there's magic.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, society developed differently, entirely differently, whole cloth.
Yep, it's inherently ahistorical because of the magic and dragons and stuff.
like, even if it is set on Earth, that is still an alternate timeline where things developed wildly differently because of XYZ reasons. Come on.
But they can't be woke.
I mean, I can't be woke either. That's why I set like 6 alarms every morning.
He really can't be woke. It's wild. Ansu sleeps like a truck, which isn't even how that phrase works.
Nope.
And yet.
And yet.
Someone just... Did you see it?
Yeah, I just saw that message.
Wait, are you still streaming? I just slept an entire night. I sure am.
Absolutely incredible. Let's round out the likes on this stream to a solid 100.
I just slept an entire night. It's been 9.5 hours. I just decided to torpedo today, and it's this.
I mean, is it torpedoing the day?
I don't know.
This is still technically work for you. Like,
yeah, I'll do something with this footage somehow. I'm sure. I just didn't plan ahead what that's going to be very much.
yeah, it's a 14-part series with an hour each. That's how long it's going to take.
These definitely have to be longer videos than normal. It's going to probably be the Sunday videos or something.
Yeah.
Because if these played at a normal rate, as normal videos, it'd be kind of agonizing to see it chopped up and slowly coming out for like months.
When will he finish the library?
When will he clear the tutorial message? It's been 3 hours. I got called out hard for having tutorial messages on the screen on this still like 3 hours into the stream.
I didn't even see the like pile of cat books that they had as an example. I didn't even see that for like a solid hour into the, because I was just like, and I'm off. I'm working on shit.
Yeah, no, I did those
things.
like I did those immediately.
I did not even see them, and someone was like, "Wow, you haven't done a single row? Did you not see?" And I was like, I didn't see what?" And they're like, "It's on the stairs. Like it's right there on the stairs, right where you start." I'm like, "Oh, that." Yeah. That was on purpose. Let me just put those away real quick.
Mind. Chess says it's not always the cat books, it's a completely random 10-volume set they have on the stairs. Well, it was the cat books for me too. That sounds astronomically unlikely for us to both get the same thing.
Maybe it's just the monster books because that's the first shelf.
Like it's within a specific restricted list.
Yeah.
I already had the set too, damn. Oh, and that one. And they're both holy magic. Two more sets of holy magic.
Man, I really am loving cooking again. I forgot how much I like cooking.
You're back at it.
I'm back at it again, boys. Like I was driving home today, I was like, I just want to cook something when I get home. Like that would be nice. And so I just messaged Root and was like, hey, have you eaten dinner yet? No? Okay, cool.
I'm about to blow your fucking mind.
We're about to have a great time tonight, bucko.
Buckle up, buckaroo. Hey, you better not have eaten anything yet. I'm about to blow your fucking mind, bro.
Oh, that's a lot of holy. What do these documents say? Trust me, I didn't set any traps in the chest box. Green key. There we are. The wanted picture. Oh, there was no other. None of the other papers are readable. Oh, what's in the green chest? Let's find out 9.5 hours into the playthrough. To Librarian. Look, let me tell you something. We have an incident, a very unexpected and very nasty incident in the Grand Library. It's total chaos, a complete disaster. They're saying it's the fairy. Can you believe it? That nasty little fairy is causing mischief and turning our beautiful library into a state of total disorder. It's a disgrace. But I am a man of action. I see a problem, and I fix it. So in response to this emergency, I am hereby granting immediate and unconditional permission for you to run within the Grand Library. Normally you can't run in the library. Everyone knows that. Those rules are very strict, but I am changing the rules to make things happen. This executive order applies especially to the librarian. You need to move fast. You need to be strong. You need to get this library back in order. So run like you never run before. We're going to clean up this mess, and we're going to do it lightning fast. With all due urgency, Principal Merlin, University of Celestal. Oh my god, I can sprint.
Yippee!
I suddenly have sprinting. 9.5 hours. That was just an awkward open chest in here. If you were expecting a trap, sorry to disappoint. Can I get rid of the open chest now, so it doesn't take up space?
No.
Now there's gonna be a strange open chest sitting around for the rest of the game.
There's
So
the space
close.
being a premium. I feel like that's the one spell I would want, because I share your sentiment where it's like I don't want a spell that's gonna sort the books for me, but I would like, again, just like a levitation spell, so I can just kind of like use all the space to sort instead of having fucking piles.
Mm-hmm.
Man, having a 3D matrix to sort shit through, I would lose my entire mind. That would melt me. I'd be like, all right, I put this one here, and then I'd be like, wait,
That's what I was
at
going
what
for.
elevation? Wait. Oh no.
What have I done? Object reassembly. I still have even more things I still need to put away. Shit. There's so many. What will I do? Ugh. Ironically, I don't want to sprint because it involves hitting shift. And I'm just like, eh. Sitting here at the keyboard for this long, my pinky is actually kind of sore. Even though I'm not actively using it, I'm just kind of like awkwardly cocking my pinky the whole time. Terror illusions. How many illusion books are left? Might be it. Ah, the entire illusion section's done. The impossible hath occurred.
Yippee!
I've got to double check all my bookshelves. I think there's just like a series of finished things I haven't put away yet. Also, Bask didn't even go to sleep. He's still up. He's still watching. Who knows where my missing purple books are? They could be hiding anywhere. Did I beat Vampire Crawler? Nah. I just kind of fell off at some point. Might be blue. Arcane detective files. Keep collecting these here, but I don't remember if I actually had found them before or where they went. They seem kind of familiar. My god, I feel like I'm being actively slowed by the fact that the lights are warm colored, and so I cannot tell what color things are anymore.
Unlock the fluorescent lighting spell that just turns everything neutral.
Yeah. Oh, necromancy. I was gonna say, I saw the word management, so I thought maybe it was gonna be my first management book, but nope.
Yeah, God, what a trap on Steam. It's like I look at this game's entry, and it's like it's right on the money. Where it's like this game is also like Power Wash Simulator, which you like. I'm like, that's true. It's like here's other games that are related, like Sims, the TCG card shop simulator. Like I guess I can see it, but it's like no. I don't know. I'm just kind of like I want this to be like a fun little niche of tidying up games that I would love to work with. And instead it's a lot of like
it's more
really
like
predatory.
viscera cleanup detail, which is a thing.
So recommending Heartopia, which is like the peak of kind of predatorily like trying to draw in the Stardew Valley crowd for just microtransaction hell. The game is not good. That's a sad thing. I like kind of fell down a rabbit hole. Is there's a lot of like YouTube drama recently about just like kind of the scourge of cozy game YouTubers that are just paid off to say that they love every single thing, and it's all just kind of the same game over and over again. And it's like, okay, well, how do I actually find the good ones though? It's like Stardew Valley is good, but it can't be that incredible. Like it will never be replicated again. There's got to be something else like it that's actually worthwhile. Like one guy made it.
Yeah, it's frustrating. A lot of YouTubers are kind of That's the irony of the whole ethics and games journalism thing, is that, like, ironically, the trusted everywhere else is much less regulated, so there's actually much less ethics everywhere else than in games journalism. Because YouTubers don't have bosses, nobody's actually watching to see if they do anything with any kind of morality. It's like a lot of YouTubers are just kind of paid off, and they'll, like, maybe nominally acknowledge some level of interference by companies, but in many cases not. Bomber Guy's big video is actually a lot about, kind of about that he's been working on forever. I've seen the Patreon cuts. It gets into the entire ecosystem of tutorials on YouTube and so on, and how that space has been sort of corrupted by... This is just blue, right? Yeah. They get corrupted by these financial incentives to cover this or that thing more, to the point where they kind of just end up being, like, in the pocket of specific companies.
Got it.
It's like so much of the ecosystem about, like, video editor tutorials, like the people that got big off of that stuff and started making a living off it, they pretty much all cover Adobe nonstop, because Adobe will partner with them and pay them for doing so in order to just silence coverage of competitors.
This is why I can't say that on your stream, because I can't endorse things that aren't necessarily directly illegal. Never mind. I don't mind saying that shit on my own streams, but I'm not about to say that on someone else's.
Can't believe Ansu would do crimes.
Yeah, not a good.
I love
a good
crime.
boy, pro-capitalist stream like Keith's.
Not what I meant, but no, I like. You know what? I'm gonna not say anything because I really don't want to damn myself. I feel like if I keep talking, I'm gonna get in trouble.
I need to finish this stack to feel good about myself. Even though some of the color coding's getting real dicey now, for a number of reasons. The evolution of civilization.
Someone in chat said, wild to have gone to bed at 3 shelves done and wake up to see the ground floor's floor.
Yeah. Me when the ground is floor.
God, I love when ground is floor.
And butt is legs.
No. Not that one.
No. Trying to vibe like which of these fucking books are brown. It's getting really hard to tell if they're brown. It's in the darkness they could be red, and some of them could even be blue sometimes. Managing diverse and cross-race adventure parties. That's one of the ones we need. In the beginner's guide.
I'm fully in this rabbit hole now of Steam indie fix things games. Some of them look really good. But yeah, there's one that's literally just called like Restory Chill Electronics Repairs, and it's like decent art direction where you're literally just running a little like shop where somebody brings you like a busted ass game, like handheld game console, and you take it apart and replace the various components. Like, it's indie as hell. It's very like there's some jank UI here and there, and it's also just like oh, that's just a PSP. Yeah, this is not a sanctioned Sony product. I'm like,
oh, it's Necromancy, a beginner's guide. For a hobbyist necromancer.
Baby's first zombie.
Woo?
If a person dies and becomes a ghost and a zombie, do you think the ghost could possess the zombie body again?
I think it's the plot of Kingdom Hearts.
whoa,
Is that really?
a little bit.
About the nobodies
I
and
hate
the
that.
and the
I hate that. I
and
was
the
trying to
heart-
be stupid as hell.
the heartlesses and nobodies.
Okay.
Don't you know what things mean?
No, I've never played a Kingdom Hearts.
Don't get me started. They announced a couple of things at the Nintendo Direct, and I just have to shut up and close my eyes. Don't think about it. I'm done with that series. Not going back.
Are
Yeah,
you?
one of my friends was like crying in the Discord. He was like, "Oh
Exactly.
my God, it's finally here." I'm just like, holy shit, that's a lot of emotions. That's a lot of emotions right there over a game trailer.
Yeah.
Isn't Kingdom Hearts 3 not even old yet?
Well, so this is the really difficult thing is like Kingdom Hearts 3 was
Bad.
a long time after 2, but it had like 4 spin-off games between it. And now we're like kind of in this new era where spin-off games are not so cheap to make anymore. So we might just jump straight to 4. And it's like we've gotten one spin-off thing that was like a rhythm game, and then there was the mobile game that got canceled. And so it's like, I don't know.
So there was more games back then.
Yeah, there was a whole. That's why they have all these like collections. Is they're trying to like retain some of these like spin-off things that were the in between from 2 to 3. Look, Utada Hikaru, she's never dropped the ball. Every single contribution she gives is god tier. Actually, I think they might use gender neutral pronouns now. I'm not sure. I should look that up.
Simple and clean is the way that you make me feel.
I literally look up Utada Hikaru, and the top result is Utada Hikaru pronouns. Okay, sure. But they are not binary.
Man, where are the other keys? Because that's where you'll get your like passive abilities. I'm sure you'll be able to get a jump if you get one of them. Like
Are
I'm
they
sure.
like randomly?
No.
Okay.
Oh, there's probably one around here, or not? Simple and clean is the way that you're making me feel tonight. Huh, I thought they'd be on the tables, honestly.
Me when he's making me feel simple and clean.
Can you remember which one of her songs, like, the music video is just her washing the dishes?
Wait, did I not pick up one of the ones that has the circle on it? Shit. I didn't mean to throw it in there. Isn't that purple? Yeah.
Yeah, it is simple and clean. That's what that song's about, is her doing the dishes.
Shit. I thought I picked up a book that had a circle drawn on it. And I accidentally threw it in here. Am I insane? Maybe. Book of Spells. Fire! Shadow cloning.
Bunshin no Jutsu.
A world without a demon lord, yet full of corporate slaves. Shadow cloning and teleportation. Homunculus, Chronicle of the Forbidden Creation. When you walk away and you hear me say,
Please obey me, don't go.
please obey me, don't go. Max?
Everybody's wondering if this is like the Kingdom Hearts game where now we can go to like Star Wars or Marvel properties.
Oh.
I thought they said they were done
Yeah.
with Disney. Weren't they just gonna lean like really hard into the Final Fantasy aspect of it?
I've heard contrary things that like, no, they're definitely still keeping Disney, but yeah, it's like we don't really know
Okay.
one way or another. It's whatever the brand decides shall be. Because yeah, I was kind of left with that feeling after 3. Is like your fan base doesn't care about modern Disney, so I don't know if this is the route, guys. Like I don't really want to see. Yeah, like Big Hero 6 was just like, it's an okay movie. I don't want to play in it.
I liked Big Hero 6.
La, la, la.
San Francisco it's always a fun setting to play around in.
They haven't rewatched much new Disney in general. And the parts of it that I did like, they were like, we're not going to make those anymore because it wasn't, they didn't do good enough or something. There's too personal of stories.
I swear to God, them doing that with Encanto, like, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
They threw like Encanto and Luca and stuff under the bus, if I remember correctly, and blamed it on that as being why recent stuff wasn't doing as well or something. I'm like, the pandemic movies? The ones that we put out during the pandemic on streaming? You're gonna call those not successful enough? How do you even measure their success?
Yeah.
You guys might be assholes. Those were their best movies.
Might be is crazy.
Encanto
Absolutely.
and Encanto and Luca were their best movies in like the last decade. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm so close.
I feel like I might poke in for the movie group tomorrow for,
Oh hey, Aki.
what was it, Hopper? Whatever the beaver one was.
The rabbit, or the groundhog one.
Groundhog, okay. I thought he was a beaver.
That's the one
I
with the
don't know, I haven't
lizard,
seen it.
lizard, right?
To Librarian, listen to me. We have a situation, a very unexpected, very messy situation in the Grand Library. It's totally chaos. And it was behind it? A fairy in the net. Blah, blah, blah. I can now jump. Everything else looks the same. It's like the same text. So get jumping. Jump like a winner. We're going to save this library and we're going to do it now. With all due urgency, Principal Merlin. So you can unlock jumping literally 1 second into the game. Oh my god, you jumped too much.
Whoa.
Jesus.
Super
Jesus.
jump. Wait, where the fuck did you get that? Was that on the
It was
on,
literally
like,
right here.
the pedestal thing?
It was right. It was hanging from right there in plain sight, just to taunt us. Now I don't trust his
Librarian is not
maps.
skipping leg day.
Maybe now I can jump to other keys that are like in fucked up positions.
Yeah, but is that
God.
helpful in this game?
I mean, you'll be able to jump off over
Can
the
I jump
Oh,
upstairs?
can you jump up?
I can jump up.
Oh,
Oh, that is so useful.
That is kind of
Hello?
crazy. Kind of a big deal.
Pretty big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal, you know.
Pretty big deal.
I don't know if you've heard of me, but I'm a pretty big deal.
What are we?
I'm literally a pretty big deal.
I had a friend that he would say, okay, but literally, and I just immediately go, what are we? And he did not like that.
God, I'm covering ground now. That's one of those guys. Oopsie. This is cursed. One who looks into the abyss. For a second there, I thought it was gonna be like a Men Who Stare at Goats parody in the title, and it was not. I keep reading this as the Arcanine Detective Files. The fucking Practicing Necromancer book. It is comical to unlock the high jump and just immediately be using it all the time. This changes everything 10 hours into my playthrough. Swear to God.
The key looking at you.
100%.
I've been here the
whole
whole
time. I've been here the whole time. I'm so close to finishing the floor. Not like in any concrete way, but in a way that I've set for myself. Nope, that's booked. That's blue. Oh, that's pretty red. That's probably why I haven't found more of it. $86 out of 40 out of 400 rows. definitely lost some of my manic energy I had in the first hour where I was just like fucking yammering. There was no universe where you can maintain that for an entire book sorting game.
I mean, you kind of have to focus for parts of it where you're trying to just like mentally track where things are.
That's green.
No, I would not be able to do this amount of Let's Player multitasking in the slightest.
One might argue I'm not.
I do love the way these like books are designed. They're all so varied and cool.
That's green.
I love that you'll randomly find banger titles like The Psychology of Backseat Gaming. It's very funny.
Wait, that's in this game?
Yeah. Which it was funny because I was like 4-ish hours into playing this and was kind of like zoning out because it was just at the end of the day, and I found that book and one of my friends goes, "Oh, I think it'll go better if you put the Backseat Gaming books over by the stairs. Like that's a better position for them." And I was just like, "No." And just moved on, and he was like, "Wow, did not pick up on the joke at all." I was like, "Wait, there is a joke." Oh my god, there was a joke there. Holy shit. I just totally did not parse. I just like, I'm so used to people saying shit like that I was just like, no.
just numb moved on. To it. The backseat gamers are dead to you, as they should
Actually, though, explodes them all with my mind.
It's like the last pile of me awkwardly trying to judge if things are brown or red and wanting to die. And it won't matter because I'll just be wrong. Because I will have not sorted them into the same pile anyway, so ultimately they're just going to be like leftover ones where I don't know where the rest of them are until I get to the other piles. It's the only way. It is so nice just to do a dedicated jump, just to drop off every one of these black books with the light text on them. Just hop upstairs to throw them up and throw them away. When you walk away.
Save me.
Save me. I can't wake up. The part of the stream where you just give up on making new jokes and you just start quoting funnier people.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Like, it's just fully into just stimming, vocal stimming.
Yeah, we're in the memes and baby talk portion of the Red Eye stream.
Oh, pretty much we're on the baby talk portion.
What were you drawing?
I mean, I know Bird was on the stream and all earlier, but it might still be a little risque.
I know Bird was on the stream earlier. He blew this whole operation wide open.
Yeah, I like... This comic has been interesting. Like it's like a blast to get started on. You know, you never want to say like magnum opus. You never want to feel like you're working on your magnum opus, but it is very much like this is the thing that probably would take all of my available time if I really stuck to it. Like it just doesn't have like really any clear end in sight, but definitely like by the end of chapter 1, I feel like I need to kind of like externalize a bit and be like, is this what I want? Is this good? Is this what anybody else wants? Is also a factor. You know, it's like you don't want to just be catering to the furry Twitter masses, but like,
or being on furry Twitter at all.
Yeah, it's like it's difficult. Nobody will ever like critique any of your stuff like to your face, and it's like it's not that I want to be like super gung ho about it, like you put me in the crucible, I must be tested by fire. But no, it's like I want some level of like leveling up my skills, because I'm like getting some kind of external stimuli here of like whether or not any of this shit. That's why when I like send you and Ka like the rough draft, I feel like that's probably going to be a thing I do going forward. I'm just like, I need somebody else to like get me out of my own headspace here and tell me like, am I completely insane? Because
on social media, the only two flavors are like, wow,
yeah, this is shit, or wow, you're amazing,
and you're canceled. Oh my god, the floor is clear-ish, technically, kind of. Now it's just the piles.
Don't look in the corners.
The pain piles.
The piles.
The piles. Oh my god, it's the piles. I just gotta try to make sense of. I should work on yellow. There's like no yellow here. So like whatever I put in the yellow pile, there's just not that much shit here.
Okay, I should probably get going off to bed. I'm getting ready for bed at least. I will see you later. Goodbye.
See you later. Can you imagine the horror of if a book clipped through the floor in this game?
Oh no! Wait!
It's like you just,
the blackest of magic.
Yeah.
It would be a yellow book to slip into the back rooms.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Good
bye.
night.
See ya. No, it was like I looked at my FA gallery just to kind of like mental map like sort of how I got here, and it really was like I read Adastra and then I was like, I am a comic artist. I am like, this is what I want to do, man. Because it was like before that it would be very scattershot. Because Twitter does kind of, not just Twitter, but like Blue Sky, the 4-image format has kind of defined, I think, a lot of artists. Where it's just like that's the limit. That's how I've got it. Like my idea has to fit into 4 pictures of like less than 2.5 megs. And that was where it was like, Adastra did genuinely make me go like, I want to do more. Like I want to actually be telling like, yeah, obviously not like an Adastra tier compelling story, but just to actually like think about storytelling even when you're writing a comic is like a wild art form in and of itself. It'd be good if I read more comics that weren't just furry smut. That would actually, make this talk even worth having.
Just the magic of furry sometimes is you just engage with stuff that ends up inspiring you, and then you end up wanting to make stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
Books of alchemy,
It's
practical
stuff.
extraction of high purity essences.
That's also where like even more I kind of like I crave that external, I don't want to say validation, but again like external like criticism, because when you immerse yourself in the furry VN sphere you really do realize like oh, people will tell you absolutely anything is amazing writing. Like
so much of the furry visual novel
work,
space is just not that good of material, but no one will acknowledge it, either because they don't want to rock the boat in that space amongst their peers, or because they don't want to, or they genuinely don't notice that anything is bad.
Yeah.
Because they have extremely superficial reads on everything. It can be very disappointing. Like, there's some people, it's a space where people can both they can like and dislike your stuff wrong. Just be frustrated by the fact that they dislike it and like it for very shallow and petty reasons that come down to like fandom thought patterns as opposed to like actual critiques of media.
Yeah.
And that can be frustrating.
That's again where I'm just like, I would be doing a lot better like media literacy wise if I got kind of outside of the furry space more often in general. It's like I should read all of like Mike Mignola's stuff and like actually see like what is it about like his voice with like Hellboy and stuff that's like more, that's like so distinct and unique that like has this particular flavor to it, whereas like generally what I'm reading is just a bunch of furry doujins from Japan that all kind of have the same visual language and have for like a decade now. And it gets boring, it gets flat. But that's where it's just stuff like what fucking like Flog puts together and Ka even. It's just like, wow, this is different from like anything I've ever seen. And it's approachable. Like it's on a level that I feel like I can maybe.
Yeah, they have very interesting ideas. In both their cases, sometimes I'm like, I was the writer on these projects. Because I'm like, the people involved here could do a lot on their own. Like, am I holding them back when I write the project?
No, because your projects are also like a very, like, since November it was immediately like this is different. And it's like, again, on some level it like works because it's like in my immediate headspace of where I am in November 2024. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, this is a vibe, this is a mood. I don't know. It's interesting to like kind of balance that side of like, you know, media literacy of, you know, the best stuff in the world or like in, you know, the comic space versus just like, this is a very uniquely good thing like Adastra or like just actual interesting indie furry stuff. It's just like, this speaks to me. But hopefully in not like an echo chambery way where I'm just ignoring.
Where you're just into it because it
me.
Specifically just meets you where you are.
Exactly. Of like this doesn't challenge me in any way is kind of the problem with a lot of the ends.
Yeah. There's it's not wrong to indulge in just stuff that just feels good and is easy, but a lot of people only choose the easiest stuff to engage with, and it kind of means that they don't really go anywhere with their media diet, and so they'll encounter like even slightly challenging artsy stuff, and instead of getting something out of it, they'll just instead sneer at it for being pretentious or boring or something. It's been like very interesting seeing the negative reactions to the Backrooms movie, for example, where it's hard not to be elitist about how people are reacting to it, because you can just not like something, but the way that people don't like stuff often just sounds really stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, it sounds like you didn't like this because you had to actually deal with anticipation in a horror movie and like themes and tension, as opposed to just like a series of jump scares where you know when to react because the moment happened where I'm supposed to go
I think about it a lot with like just specifically Echo and kind of like the headspace that gets put in, because it's like at this point I wouldn't say any part of Echo is like the best thing any of those writers have written. Like pretty much the next thing that McSkinney and Howley have both worked on is like vastly better in my opinion, but
oh yeah, Arches is so good.
Yeah. But it is like, yeah, it's when people like kind of take away from Arches that it's just like torture porn and stuff. It's like, you know, I wouldn't want to read an Arches every day, but like there's a space. It's interesting to kind of work about like what is the space that this kind of like this kind of challenge, or I don't know, I'm getting pretentious, but it is like That would
No,
sort of be my
calling it-
argument. It's like art just is
referring
good
to
because it
college-
challenges you to put yourself in this headspace.
No, just referring to it as torture porn is like extremely weird. And like I've seen that stuff, yeah, and it's like it's a very weird take on what that is. And it mostly tells me that those people have never actually seen torture porn movies, because that is a genre of film
Oh yeah.
that people quite enjoy, and it's really hard to mix it up with these other things. Me want any horror. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, that is really what makes me bristle about is it starts to feel like it's an extension of the like no sex scenes should be in movies. It starts to get like anything that is making me feel uncomfortable is wrong. Like, can you just let it be? Because it is just stuff like arches. Again, there was my kind of dumbass like interpretation of the text the first time through. I'm just kind of like, wow, he's a psychic, and then Toaster kind of holds my hand through your guys' reading of it and is like, no, actually this is like very interesting ways of expressing like somebody with this kind of like
Dissociative identity disorder.
mental affliction. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, it's been a while.
It's also realizing that about like how it's like, oh, this is like a consistent thing in Hallie's writing. That's like Chase is supposed to be like actually schizophrenic. Like that's sort of the mental comparison there is that he's like, you know, in the lore he's, you know, yes, possessed by a ghost, but it's like his lived experience is supposed to kind of make you understand what it's like being the one mentally ill person in your town and kind of like worrying about that and like being alienated in that way. And that's like, wow, I got a cool new perspective from Hallie's writing, because Hallie clearly thinks about this stuff a lot. But yeah, then just like,
No, yeah, a lot of the status updates on Patreon hint at elements of Hallie's writing being autobiographical, and I'm just like, oh no. There's no good interpretation of that idea. That's a real bummer.
yeah.
Granted, Hallie also seems like somebody where if it's not their fictional writing, just every single thing they put into the world, they immediately regret putting into the world. And they delete almost every message they ever post. Admittedly, having a fandom, oh my god, fandom is insane. Fandom are crazy. We're seeing this digital circus right now where they're just insane people that that destroy the thing that they love. And you're just like, why do they behave like this? I don't understand.
I finally got to see that on Sunday, and it was a fun little time. It was like a smaller than usual theater. You can clearly see how they've kind of like sectioned it off, but like it was full, and like, yeah, it was a decent range of, I would say, like kind of late high school students who are all there in their cosplay, and then just like people that just look like the people I would meet at a furry convention. And just kind of like,
yeah.
You're the age demographic that I expected. There was like one child there. I was like, that's... Well, it was funny because it was one child who's there with his parents, and I'm like, did the parents just bring you? Like, are you here for the kid or for the parents? I'm not sure.
Which one of you is the audience of this?
Exactly.
Like, maybe they watched it all together.
Maybe I love that idea.
I mean, I hope they watched it all together instead of just like bringing them to the finale of a thing they didn't see.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
unless they're so young that they're not
for a
going to
fact that
understand
this
either
ends
way.
Yeah, we know that the ending of the midway point in this movie is the removal of censorship. So, like, and I would say this kid was definitely, it's like you look like 10.
Yeah. Maybe you're just a cool parent. You're like, yeah, you can say fuck. Who cares?
It was a fun ride. It's definitely, I would go to more of the kinds of showings.
Yeah, it's been really interesting that like this is the week, so like this is the month where Star Wars came out. It's easy to forget that, but like a Star Wars came out, you know? Like a Star Wars came out. And instead like the top movies are a horror movie and two follow-ups to internet phenomenons. at the same time that are both competing with Star Wars. A Star Wars movie. What the fuck is happening? That's when you know Disney fucked up a bit. When the event of the month isn't the Star Wars movie that came out. That's for Star Wars.
I should watch any of The Mandalorian at some point, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's like, I trust what Toaster says, where it's like, you know, they understood the assignment. It's like, it's not a bad movie.
Yeah, I'm even speaking as somebody who
that.
watched the Star Wars movie. We've actually been to the theater a lot lately. I watched Backrooms and Mandalorian and Grogu and Digital Circus. Digital Circus made me cry a lot.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot.
It was just upsetting. But the Star Wars movie's fun. It's full of just so many little goobers. Just so many practical puppets and strange little creatures brought to life in a way where I'm just like, most people don't think to even try to make this many little guys. Like, what's going on? I'm just sorting white books that all look almost the same by actually reading their titles, and I want to die a little bit.
Like torture.
Self and do I not have any more self and other? When you walk away.
It's gonna keep haunting us.
Sitting here like wanting to grab more than one of each set at a time, but I genuinely can't even see a second of the same book type each time I look for one. Hand hurts a little bit. Yeah, I had a great time with the Digital Circus. I wish that the fans weren't being super weird all the time at the creator.
I like to think that it can die down a bit now that it's just like the book has been closed. Like, you got what you got. Like, take it or leave it. There's no more. You love to think like how many of them are the kind of people that are, again, fans, but you know, they probably think that they can like change the next episode before it comes out. Like, they don't realize that this has probably all been done for years.
Yeah. Or if not done, they almost certainly wrote the entire thing or had the outline
it's like,
in advance, because animation takes forever, but also it's clearly like fairly densely planned out and full of callbacks and setups and like and themes that run all the way through it. Like, it's extremely cohesive in a way that is not what you get from a YouTube show where each episode's being made after the last one came out. It's like, oh no, this is not. It's not altering flow in response, or it's not testing the waters to see how people react to it or anything. It genuinely just knew what it was going to be the whole time and was making that the whole time. But fans are weird. Fans are and kind of dumb on a regular basis. Like, there's a queer baiting controversy that happened with Dispatch that I think is stupid on both people's parts. It was that people were asking if there's going to be any queer relationships in Dispatch. And they were asking this, crucially, when 6 of the 8 episodes were already out.
Right.
And I'm like, what? They're not going to just randomly alter course this late in the thing. One, that's not how the game works. Like, they made it already. But also, it's clearly like a cohesively planned out thing from front to back. Like, it's all one continuous narrative and they knew where they were going with it. It's really obvious what the 2 potential romances are because they told us up front, and they're the ones that the whole story is constantly about. Like, it'd be really weird if it suddenly just shifted to a new romance out of nowhere last second when the whole story is otherwise basically over. That would be insane. That's obviously not what's going to happen, so that's a stupid question to ask. But then the creator, or one of the people, the staff member that was there, was like, I don't know, wait and see, and being coy about it. And you know, that's not what you do. Don't do that. No, because that's a weird refusal to say the obvious that is kind of a borderline confirmation of sorts, like hinting at the idea that it might happen. That is queer baiting, which is wild because he had no reason to queer bait, because the obvious answer was like, no, it's clearly the story is about these two possible romantic interests that you can pick from, and that's it. That's what the story is about, very obviously. They took a dumb question and unnecessarily made it a point of controversy by answering it as stupidly as possible, which is very frustrating. But like, the takeaway here is that the audience for this game, not only just that one person, but the people that also surrounded that question enough to like pay attention to the answer to it, collectively were dumb enough to think that the narrative would just randomly pivot to, or allow the pivot to, a completely different side character romance out of nowhere, as if that's like, in a way that's like kind of disrespectful to the writers to think that they would write something that bad that it would just for no reason be suddenly about dating Flambe in the last episode, when crucially, among other things, it's time for the story to wrap it the fuck up. So it's not gonna even have time to establish a new love interest if it wanted to, because now it's time to do the main conflict of the entire story that clearly is supposed to happen now. Like, where would you even fit it if you wanted to? It just felt insane. I'm just like, oh my god.
It isn't. I don't know, like the
what?
I don't know what like the key demographic of Dispatch fans is as far as like where it shifts gender-wise, but like I feel like it's interesting when you talk about this. I just realized like all the fan art that I see of Dispatch is of male characters that have no love interest. I've not seen any Invisigirl or Blonde Blazer fan art.
Yeah, really. I
Really.
constantly see, I mean, in furry land, I always see Mecha Bat ship.
Yeah.
Which is great because it involves a lot of horny
waterboy.
drawings of Sonar, where I just try to pretend I don't remember Sonar's characterization, where he isn't actually appealing at all. Because he's just like a straight crypto bro with no real redeeming qualities. That has the least depth of any character in the entire story, because he was a throwaway gag for Charlie to voice for 2 seconds. That was supposed to not be in the rest of the story, but then they liked him enough to put him in the rest of it. And so they expanded his role and had him compete with Coupe for a slot. But that was not what he was supposed to do. I'd have to go back, because I was trying to write a video essay about this, obviously, but like, I cannot make sense of Sonar's character. I'm just like, what crime are we supposed to think that he did, but also why are we supposed to think that he would want to join a redemption crew, as opposed to like just fucking off and getting rich off of conning people and so on. But also, like, when you fire him, what, he just walks away? Like, how does the firing mechanic work in this game? Because I thought that these were like, because the game leaves a lot unexplained, I think, or underexplained, and so you intuit it. So it leaves you to intuit a lot of stuff based on what you think is going on, based on the genre, basically. So you intuit based on Suicide Squad, like, oh, they're all like prisoners, right? Like, clearly they're in this like redemption anti-hero squad in order to commute their sentence, right? But when you fired them, they just walk away. Like, you can fire them from the redemption squad? Like, what are the stakes of firing them?
About it in that.
The game has you firing these people, but doesn't actually tell you what's going to happen to them, and it's not even clear what happens to them after you beat the game and they spend a time being fired. They somehow join the evil guys, whoever you fire. But how did they do that? Do they not go back to prison? What does firing them mean? Why does firing them involve them just storming off and not like the police hauling them back to prison? Like, I'm so unclear about what the story of that game is in many cases. It drives me crazy the more I think about it. It does not. That game's like a wild ride, where the first time you go through it, it's like, wow, we're having fun here. But on your second ride through, when you're thinking about it, you're like, man, this story doesn't make any sense on every level. Every character is completely undeveloped, and you don't know why they're here or what makes them tick. And also, you can't really tell what the rules of the setting are on a basic level and what your decisions mean. It's crazy.
It does seem to just like the Guardians of the Galaxy vibe is like the top selling thing for Heroes right now, where it's like it's not quite meta, but it is just a lot of like burnout humor, sort of.
What do I call metaphysics?
The Cowboy Bebop bunch of fuck ups.
I don't know where I would put metaphysics. Math? That doesn't sound right.
Can't think of anything better. Isn't like a science? I don't know.
I don't really know what metaphysics
in your
are.
math game, or in your Magic game.
A bad sign. It's not metaphysics. I'm gonna put these down for now and go to the other stacks because I don't really know what metaphysics is. That's a full
Are the
set at
rows
least.
interchangeable in a given like
In a section, yeah. As long as you sort them correctly left or right. Like numerically as a set. There's also 10. Undead protection. Oh, this is holy magic.
Astrology is an idea. That might be.
Just a bad case of like, I don't know what this word really means.
Yeah.
To be honest. I don't know anything about astrology either.
I'm not super familiar with like the Telltale genre, so I don't know like how far a given Telltale game has ever taken like the branching route approach. But that was definitely one big thing about Dispatch that you realize on a second playthrough. It's like, oh, these decisions didn't matter. Like,
basically no decisions matter. You can also just let the game autoplay. You can just walk away and the entire game will play from front to back, I think, basically.
Oh, it has like a story mode sort of thing where it's like...
No, just the normal gameplay doesn't matter.
Okay.
Every cutscene is always auto-playing. There's no dialogue option where it fully pauses and forces you to make a choice. You can just sit there and it'll pick one for you. And all of the gameplay dispatch sections don't matter because it's just a bunch of random arbitrary missions where you level people up for fun, basically, but none of it affects the story.
Right.
And I think even when the game forces you into hacking sections, I think you can just like stare at them dumbfounded and wait for them to end. And then you just fail. But then the story keeps going because you can't you can't get Invisigow killed or anything.
Not having played Dispatch, I will say like I did felt like very compelled by the gameplay idea of just kind of like I do want to see all the outcomes of a given thing. Like it feels cool when you've realized that you've like discovered a cool little hidden synergy. Like, oh, you picked the right character for this one.
Yeah.
Now they have a special little interaction
there's a lot of cool
usually
ideas.
Hilarious.
There's a ton of cool ideas in the gameplay sections, but you don't have to do any of it at all.
Sure.
You can just stare at it and let it autoplay and just listen to the people chat, and then hear each phone call about a mission end in screams or something.
Yeah.
And you just wait and then even if you didn't send anybody, you'll wait. What if I can read the thing backwards again? Can I never read this map? I'm losing my mind. Philosophy, 2J. All the way back there. I always read these maps backwards for some reason. It's crazy. The main thing is you either choose to date one girl or the other, and then you have the outcome of whether or not Invisigow has a redemption arc or not is based on your decisions. Otherwise, nothing happens at all based on your decisions, really. Besides whether you fire sonar or coupe, and even there, I think the game defaults into letting them back in the party at the end of the game. So at the end of the game, you either fired coupe or sonar, but they rejoin the party, and you either chose Water Boy or Phenomenon, but the other one joins the party also in the climax. So if they make a sequel there's almost no variability to account for besides the fate of Invisigal, who doesn't die or anything. Like, she's just like slightly different context. And unfortunately, if they're learning from the Telltale model, Telltale dealt with variability by not dealing with it. Because yeah, like no matter what happened, there's like a significant branch in how The Walking Dead 1 ends, but Walking Dead 2 immediately pinches that branch, and it's very frustrating. And most of the series kind of continues in that exact style, where whatever level of variability you think you accomplished, it almost always manages to get unmade.
Right.
And these were like the impactful, like your choices matter games, and there's a lot of stuff about them that was pretty cool. But like even choices like, oh, in episode 1 you choose who lives or dies between these two characters, but then in episode 3 that character dies no matter who they are in the exact same way. And it's like, god damn it. At least in Mass Effect, the fucking survivor that you have to choose between in the first game does rejoin the party as a party member in the third game, but it's a fully functional character with a bunch of dialogue and everything, and it matters on some level. Mass Effect 3 actually has an insane level of variability, even though it has like a kind of botched like ending sequences and so on. It has like crazy amounts of different outcomes and different executions of ideas and so on, based on how you did things. And people act like it was a case of choices not mattering. I'm like, that compared to what? Compared to what game? Like, what game did more than this? Especially Trilogy did more than this in the history of video games. Like, they pulled off insane stuff. There's just flaws to it.
It's also one thing, there's like I'm learning what the AI bros call emergent gameplay is their word on a game that doesn't know what the hell it's doing, just like literally generates a like text response on the spot, and that's like their idea of what those types of games should do to ensure that everything's variable. It's just like, no, like I want all the paths to be good though is the problem. It's like, yeah. I don't just want it to say yes you can do that. I want it to entertain me with what I choose.
Don't just react to literally everything I do, but just like by just technically having a reaction. You do want to have a scripted, interesting outcome. That is a struggle with games that do too much variability, is sometimes you have a game that technically allows a crazy amount of outcomes, but only because it's kind of like you either play the main story where all the interesting stuff happens, or there's a variety of places where you can diverge from that, but it kind of doesn't account for it that much. It like lets you technically continue, but you just experience a worse story. And it's like, oh, that's not really the better. Wait, that sucks.
Back with the subject of Dispatch, it was really funny I watched Wooly play through it, and he ran into the moment where after the fight, he was like, Flambe's gonna fucking kill me. I'm not going to tell them my identity, which is like, everybody's like, oh my god, Wooly, what a fucking bummer, man. Come on, you gotta tell. And it was like, because it shows you, like, you're one of like the 15% of people that chose that. You fuck up. But then the funny thing is, it's like, regardless, so like he catches all this shit, and then at the end of the day, the exact same scene happens where Flambe, it's actually, honestly, I think it's funnier when you don't tell them, because then you have the whole dramatic Invisigirl freak out that like ruins the party, and then you go and answer the door, and Flambe just comes in and goes, "What's that?" And it's just like, oh my god, you fucking asshole. Like,
guy doesn't have any idea what happened.
Funnier. Yeah.
That's actually one of the things that bothers me about the game, is that there's all this talk about which characters failed and this character's bad and blah blah blah, and there's this huge crazy scale division between like this half of the party wants to get rid of Invisigal and that part of the party wants to keep Invisigal. Flambe tries to murder you.
Yeah.
He tries to murder you and the game doesn't deal with it at all. It's never acknowledged again. He faces no consequences. There's no question of if he should be removed from the party. If you reveal your identity, he tries to murder you, and then it just never comes up again. It's not even a branch in the story that affects anything. He literally shows up in the next time he shows up is the same time, no matter what. And it's like, what?
Right.
He tried to kill me, and there's no debate of whether he should be on the team, but we're gonna hand-wring over whether or not Invisigal should be on the team. It's so fucking frustrating narratively. Not to mention just the weird question of like, what is Flambe? What is that character? He's the one gay character, but he's my age, but he's from Afghanistan. But his accent sounds like that? Because that's why does his accent sound like that? What accent is that? Yeah. What's going on with it with Flambe? I don't understand why his accent sounds like that. Also, what do you mean? Like he has a line where he says somebody claims he was in the closet, and he says, "Closet? I skipped right past the closet and went straight to the clubs." And I'm like, no, you didn't, because you're my age. You can't have done that because you're my age. You can't do that. You couldn't have done that here in the United States because you were my age, so you couldn't not be in the closet and go straight to the clubs. Like you're allowed to go to the not be in the closet, I guess, but like you definitely would have faced a lot of you would have faced bad shit being openly flamboyantly gay in the United States during my age and era and so on. But more significantly, your bio says you're from Afghanistan. So like, when did you come from Afghanistan? Because that's a whole thing to unpack. I'm sorry. They throw that line in because it's so empowering and cool and fun and quirky, and they forget that he's my age, which means that he either grew up with 9/11 happening when he was 10 in Afghanistan or in the United States, and neither option is good as a queer Afghani kid. Like, what the fuck? No, his backstory is horrific one way, no matter what, unless you're gonna tell me 9/11 didn't happen in this universe and racism doesn't exist in this universe, which as far as I tell, it just seems to be our setting, but with superheroes. Like, maybe superheroes prevented 9/11. Maybe if we get into the fucking Harry Potter world building that they didn't get into, of like, why didn't the wizards stop Hitler? Like, what were there superheroes during 9/11? Did they stop 9/11? Did 9/11 happen? Because like at every level, there's like so much to unpack about like, what does it mean? What does it mean for you to tell me this guy skipped the closet and went straight to the clubs when he's like a mid-30s Afghani American? What do you mean, game, by that? There's so much to unpack from that. What do you mean? It drives me crazy, the lack of world building or care or characterization. And I'll remind you, this entire story is about a bunch of misfits which have like backgrounds that inform why they are these misfits and criminals and so on, and their rehabilitation. But you do a rehabilitation arc where all of them just get better off camera or through the collective act of going on all these missions, which don't have a set narrative whatsoever because you can play it differently every time. They just kind of ambiguously become better people and work as a better team in a way that isn't shown in any cutscenes. And then they just arbitrarily like are a good team at the end, and you never have to dig into who any of them are as people and what brought them to be where they were in the first place, and you don't resolve that. And like, if this was a television show, which it was originally supposed to be, you would spend each episode doing like a Orange is the New Black or Lost style like flashback about the background of each individual character and like really develop each one by one. In this show, in the game, you get no background for any of the characters because every bit of error of the narrative is sucked up by Invisigal. But you also don't know anything about her either, even though she's the one character that all the screen time is given to. You have no idea. The most you get is the idea of like, man, you're lucky. You guys get superhero powers. I got a villain power, and that's the most you get from her in the entire season to justify her being a villain. Let alone every other character is just like, I don't know. Like, Isn't it genuinely hard to imagine Punch-Up being villainous at all? Because his characterization is just him being pro-social and helpful and a comrade amongst all of his friends and
was
just
was
exclusively
he like
helpful.
a thief or something?
He killed someone.
Oh.
He killed someone. He's in jail for murder. And I'm like, what the fuck is the story there? It could be interesting. It's not necessarily a contradiction, but it completely contradicts what we know about him, which means there's a story to tell at minimum. And they just don't. The game sucks, honestly. It kind of sucks. Where does the ethics of magic go? Let's see. Sociology, I guess? I don't really know sociology or in some of these categories very well. Just have to admit that about myself. Nope. Philosophy. Yeah, it's very frustrating because I'm just like, what do these guys deal? I got a sneak peek at my video essay if I ever fucking make it again. Is that there's gonna be a part where I just belabor the point of like, here's the part where all the characters vote on whether or not Invisigal should stay in the party, and it's conveniently an even split. Why do these characters think that, and why do those characters think that? Can anyone tell me what drives any of these characters to think what they think? Why is that the split? Because it's genuinely hard to justify or think about like why any of those characters would vote the way they do, because you don't know any of them. You don't know any of those characters. It's just so frustrating. The most characterized character of all of them, I think, is Punch-Up, just because he's so consistently pro-social and we're all in this together in his vibes. We just established right out the gate when he's like trying to do first aid on Flambe with whatever you did to him, because you have to hurt Flambe. You have to hurt him. They make you do it. Do-do-do. I also think about Invisigal's inhaler a lot.
Right.
You know about that? The mess going on there?
I'm trying to think of it just seemed like it was kind of inconsistent. It was a very like a plot convenient disability to kick in.
Where she absolutely never struggles to actually breathe on any level where it would interfere with her powers. But then it's revealed it was all clever foreshadowing for the fact that she's got a lung implant, the cybernetic thing. But then, just kidding, it was disabled the whole time, so it was actually never active. So it actually isn't an explanation for why she has infinite breathing. But also, every moment of the entire game, according to anyone with asthma, she doesn't use her inhaler correctly at all. Both because she uses it before she does stuff, when it's supposed to be used to stop an in-progress asthma attack. Like you use the inhaler when an attack happens, not like as a stat boost before you do something exerting. But also, she never opens it, so she never actually breathes it in. The cap is closed the entire game, so she's not using it correctly on a mechanical level either. And it's
like the reverse of the Fault in Our Stars. She likes to hold the thing that saves her between her teeth.
But also the narratively is the fucking Fault in Our Stars. But the story is also 5,000. It has like a 5D double ultra triple cross back and forth about her allegiances that's so muddy that it's genuinely hard to unpack by the end whether or not she did or didn't have the cybernetic active at the time of the story playing out. Because the lies go back and forth so many times that you genuinely can't tell which one was the truth by the end, because they kind of just never clarify. It's frustrating. Let's see. Yeah, none of those are going to be packable, so I guess I'll unpack the black books now. Anyway, that's unprompted ramble about Dispatch. I'm so annoyed they don't have a video about it out already. It's just life happens a lot, and like the video essay channel is like my fucking like my 5th channel or something or some shit like that, and I'm over here having like life events and dating and going to conventions, and also just having to keep up with the actual all the other channels that actually pay my bills, while also dealing with the whole aspect of like trying to fight potential ADHD at like making myself write and having productive days when I do have it. 'Cause sometimes I'll work like extra hard all week to clear out time to try to write, and then just fail to write with the time that I finally earned, and then I'm like, wow, I made my whole week worse to then just not accomplish anything. And then when you write a bunch of stuff, you might then just decide that you need to scrap all of that or rework everything that you made because it's just not working in the format that's working in. And then the question comes, do you focus on the essay you're already working on, or do you try a different project because you don't want to immediately go back in this thing that you're frustrated with because it didn't work the first time, and you're like, this is a lot to stack on top of everything else going on. It's been non-ideal.
I'd be interested to hear, like, I don't know, I'm sure, like, people like Folding Ideas or Lindsay Ellis have, like, advice out there on, like, how they approach games. Because it's like, when I look through Nebula, I'm like, oh, wow, Lindsay's actually made a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's maybe slowed down. It's like she's not a content mill by any means, but it's like, this is a body of work, and, like, you know, she must have sort of a... I'm sure she has, like, a bunch of ideas that she's never completed, but nevertheless, like, a process of, like...
Yeah.
For each one.
One helpful thing is that they both have teams.
Yeah.
Like, they both absolutely have staff. And, like, H-Bomber Guy, I think, writes and edits everything himself, and instead uses his staff to, like, accomplish more complex goals outside of the essays themselves or during the filming process and so on. But, like, Lindsay and Dan have, like, researchers and co-writers. Like, they have a staff working on the script itself at this point, which is certainly helpful. It's also their main thing, or at least arguably their main thing.
Right.
In Lindsay's case, she also writes novels. But like, they're not running other YouTube channels as their main gig, while they then do
yeah, truly,
video essays as their side hobby.
I'm just interested from, like, a creative standpoint of kind of like, how do you...
Yeah.
You know, as I'm, like, starting to, like, CGI the exit stuff, it's kind of like, what is the like, mind map here of, like, how, when I'm watching you talk about the Kronk effect.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, it's just, like, one relatable idea to another, and, like, oh, now we're talking about really existential shit. Okay.
CJ stuff is fantastic. But they also, like, yeah, they disappear for a year at a time on a regular basis. They're doing it right now, unless you count the interview thing they posted. They haven't had a video, like an essay style video, in over a year, I think, right now.
That means that you're boring through stuff. Like, I enjoy that greatly, just whenever. Ideally, it's not like something as frustrating as a couple of the videos have been about, but
I got the numbers infection in my brain on that channel, and it makes me overthink it, because I see that certain topics massively flop and certain other topics do really well, but the topics that do well are the ones that are more stressful to talk about because they have, like, more stakes. It's like talking about controversies while trying not to just make it be a drama channel that makes the world worse, but instead, like, trying to have, like, focus on things where I have a specific input and, like, a take that I want to go to. The Jim Furries video is doing, like, shockingly well, at least in that context, at least. And that's been weird because, like, I already had an axe to grind on that topic. It's actually a recurring thought I kept almost making a video about because there's this ongoing thing where people are just, like, really have an axe to grind about, like, I think his name's Radar, It's like there's a fursuiter that goes around with the top of his fursuit open, shows his abs basically, and people get really like, not crab bucket, they get really like bitch eating crackers about that. And it's just like, what? And just, it's been weird for me to try to unpack like why people get so incensed by just a particular person's chosen way of expressing themselves at a convention about expressing yourself. Bitch eating crackers being that idea of like, when you're just so
look at them,
angsty about somebody
full
that
of themselves.
Yeah, look at that bitch over there eating crackers. Like the idea is that she's not doing anything wrong in the example. You're just like so mad that her taking any action is another reason to be mad at her, because you're just always mad at her. And that's like the vibe I get for how people react to certain furries. Is sometimes it's just the fact that like we're just all kind of in a space where you just will encounter people repeatedly, and if you don't block people, like if you don't like somebody, you're going to just periodically encounter them in some way, or see or just be confronted with their existence again periodically, and people just are deeply immature about that. There's just like a lot of weird things to unpack there, where like the way that people talk about that person often like verges into like body shaming and other weird behavior, and like in like these treatments where it's like it's as if it's okay to mistreat somebody just because they're fit physically or something. Just like a lot of weird messy shit where I'm like, this is all behavior that we all know isn't okay and we're just doing it anyway.
No, I've definitely, that's always one of those vices of certain like gay guy friend groups, is when they decide like it's okay to be catty and shitty to people. It's like, no. I've had to leave multiple Discord channels over shit like that, where I'm like, okay, what is the what are we talking about now when we start bringing up a person's like BO or the fact that they snored in our convention room? It's like, oh, scandalous. Like
yeah, you mix any group of people and you'll often get like pettiness and so on, but it's just weird watching it verge into this thing of like, that's like behaviors that I see as like inherently anti-furry, and like no one like interrogating or calling out the fact that this is like behavior that's happening. Because when it happens, like it kind of depends on the people around that to like actually acknowledge that you shouldn't do that, and shaming it a bit so that you don't continue behaving like shit. But I've also just had like evolving thoughts on it as it goes on, which led to the particular takes I had about like, on some level, it's like the particular lash outs that people have here feel like they're tied to toxic nerd complexes, and just the variety of ways that I just see a lot of nerd circles just being incredibly toxic, like by default, basically, in every aspect of the space. Not in both furry spaces and in like gaming spaces, and pretty much every space that I occupy is full of nerds that have a lot of like toxic traits that they don't unpack because they think that they're the ones that are in the right all the time, so they don't really question whether or not their behavior is actually shit. And that's all frustrating. There are so many black books to sort through, oh my god. But I get stressed out on that channel because it's unscripted, and there's always like so many other caveats to cover lest you be misinterpreted. Like somebody just like yesterday was calling me out for victim blaming by talking about the idea that people's complexes about bullying are self-inflicted on some level. And it's like, no, I'm not saying that the bullying never happened. I'm saying that like you living into your 30s and 40s acting like a bullied high schooler is self-inflicted at some point. Like it is at some point a thing that you either get over on some level, or you just are gonna have a permanently worse life, and no one can help you with that. And the people that you're preemptively judging based on your past past bad experiences are not the people that hurt you, and there's no evidence that they would. And you can't just go through life assuming the worst of people all the time based on some past experiences that were bad. And I'm just trying to get all these, like, increasingly middle-aged wisdoms at people, because I'm like, no, seriously, like, I'm on the other side of a lot of this shit. Like, I lived it, I get it. Like, I was mistreated in school, but, like, it just hurts you to go through life assuming that everyone wants to hurt you, or everyone preemptively doesn't like you. God, the black books are way harder than the white books. There's so fucking many, and there's so many varieties, and they look the same. God, those are different books. Oh my god. Yeah, a lot of these self-growth things are a huge struggle because people have to actually do it themselves. And they have to look inward and think about what their behavior is like and who they're becoming. And the entire internet actively profits on telling them that actually they don't need to change anything and everyone else is wrong. And then you get sucked in, like, manosphere incel vibes. They either tell you that you're already right and you don't need to change anything about yourself, which is what the toxic thought process already was, or they'll tell you that actually it's pointless to change because you're already doomed and you don't stand a chance anyway, so you just give up, which is another way of just never growing or changing. And ironically, that was actually what the Backrooms movie was about. Judge of a spectral tribunal.
Yeah, it was interesting with the Backrooms movie, because I kind of grilled myself on the whole, like, Backrooms YouTube channel beforehand. I was like, what? I never actually watched it. I figured that it is basically like, it's like what Marble Hornets was for my generation, where, like, I don't really find anything about the Backrooms scary, but, like, if I was in middle school, I would probably be fucking terrified.
Yeah.
Where it's just this existential, like, I could just fall through the floor and it's a little bit like when you talk about the Half-Life, like, was it the enemy in Half-Life that, like, dangles from the ceiling?
Oh god.
Like, what a just like a something instinctual about that makes me very spatially aware at all times.
Yeah, it's very unpleasant, the fucking barnacle.
But honestly, when it came to, like, just watching, like, okay, getting caught up on the lore of the Backrooms, I don't like it that much. It's not very interesting. At least a lot of the theory videos that I'm watching is like, I don't know if this is where he's going with it, the creator, because I know he worked on the movie. But the movie was, like, a lot more thematically compelling than the YouTube series is, at least. I don't know, it's just the YouTube series is very, like, everybody just kind of hones in on the sci-fi lore explanations of it, whereas just the movie was very, like, wow, characters. I like those better. I think Backrooms, the YouTube series, like, has characters, but it's very vague.
It's also kind of like honestly, theory videos just kind of suck.
Yeah.
The internet deals with fiction in a way where it ruins fiction in general, I think. Like, there's just the entire cottage industry of theory videos just actively makes people miss the point of fiction because they get so into the weeds about weird theory stuff. And if you can't take the theory stuff you're talking about and wrap it around to reinforcing themes in the narrative and having an actual reason for that being a part of the narrative, then I feel like you just wasted your time. And a lot of them are just like, oh, what could this mean? And it's like always like, you don't want to be recreating, like, Folding Ideas is like decoding narrative video, where it's a video about annihilation where people are just trying to solve the theories of like, well, what does the ending mean? What's the next? It's a sequel bait for the next movie kind of stuff. How many people are and aren't shining babies or something? It's like, no, it's not what any of this was about. Please stop. It's very frustrating. Like I think Toaster brought up because I think he got it from like the wider culture and thought that this was a thing. His impression of Digital Circus was that it was like really ARG focused and had a lot of deep, weird stuff going on. And I'm like, I think that's just like the fandom spaces,
yeah,
of like obsessing over weird things, and half the time those people then just get really mad when that turns out to be not what the thing's actually about, and then when the finale comes and goes, and they turn out to have always been wrong about what the point of any of this was. Because the actual story of the Digital Circus is just very straightforwardly presented, and is largely it's largely just what it's saying it is, and in fact it even explains itself on a regular basis. And I'm fascinated by people that will read so deep into theories, but then when they get to certain sequences in the actual movie, which I won't get into because it's not out yet for everyone, not yet, but like,
I have to keep reminding myself of that I like literally talked with you on stream about like, we don't have to worry about spoilers. I cannot be the one that does the spoiling after I said that.
Yeah. But like, there's like a part of the finale that is very slightly open for interpretation, but not really. Like, it obviously clearly means one thing about a specific character. And it's really weird watching people in the audience refuse to absorb that information and refuse to acknowledge that about that character, even though they just spent the last 2 years being like decoding fucking QAnon ass people about the fiction. Yeah. But like a game, but them being like almost only slightly coy about something that only really has one possible interpretation. Suddenly they're just incapable of interpreting art. I'm like, you motherfuckers, this is a waste of time. You guys have wasted everyone's time even pretending to pay attention to the story. Like, you guys are so shit at this. Jesus Christ. I've been losing my mind watching people just refuse to understand the finale. And it's because and part of it's because they're fandom brained. They're so clouded by wanting to push the interpretation in certain directions that they're refusing to just listen to the basic text.
Yeah.
It's like people have gotten used to engaging with media literally wrong. Yeah. Looking forward to it. We'll continue to not know anything about the fandom. I've been blissfully unaware of the Undertale and Deltarune fandom outside of that one super eye patch wolf that's like, there's a million Undertale multiverse fan creations. I'm like, that's neat. Good for her.
Because that's what I was curious about with Backrooms, is like, is that what some of the pushback is? It's just like, they didn't talk about the fungus. We were supposed to talk about the infectional fungus that's killing people. I'm like, I don't want fungus in my Backrooms.
Oh yeah, the part of the fandom that will want it to be a confirmation of their specific sub-fandom theories of like, that's even more fractal and weird because like, the Backrooms doesn't have a specific author or owner, so like it's just a bunch of it's like people all contributing to the SCP essentially. Like, it's just a bunch of separate people all writing whatever they feel like, and that stuff already doesn't congeal into a collective narrative that can be canon simultaneously. No, the movie is very solid. It's just a very well done take on what it was doing. There are too many stacks of books. Oh my god. This part of the process, I'm losing my mind a little bit.
Have you eaten?
No.
Cool.
No, I have bizarrely committed. I've just sat here for 11 hours. I got up to use the restroom and grab different drinks twice. This is the one of the most gremlin-y days I've ever done in a long time. This is freak shit. I keep thinking just one more thing and then I'll probably wrap up. And then suddenly it's 11 hours deep and I'll be like, I guess I'll chop this into like 3 or 4 videos someday. I don't want to watch Backrooms again. Hiding one's presence. Where the fuck? Have I not found this yet? I did just like the original idea of doing it in one go, and it's obviously not happening at this point.
But that, assuming this is the whole game, that it's kind of like, are you kind of getting your money's worth by just... It just feels like a big jigsaw puzzle, basically.
Yeah. A big old commitment. Just filling this entire floor with these black books. Stealth and detection. It's been a really good era for movies. It's even just the forgotten, like, not a lot of people talked about it, but there was like, we watched Hokum and the Drama, and even those were like solid films. Watched Hokum with no context, and it was just like an extremely funny horror comedy that it benefited somewhat from the fact that we didn't know it was going to be funny. So we were we're just really baffled and confused because we couldn't tell what the movie was doing. See. And the Drama was a movie where Zendaya and Robert Pattinson are getting married, and Zendaya admits something when she's drunk in front of friends, and it's like a life-defining thing to admit. Like, it's very like, oh Jesus, this is a bomb, and it's like right when they're like already engaged and getting ready to get married and everything, so it's like a crazy tumultuous time to have to unpack this, and they don't even get to do it in private because she said it in front of other people, and the whole movie's just dealing with the ramifications and fallout of like that and within their social circles and everything. And that was just a crazy comedy or crazy drama to like see play out. Of shadowing nearby objects. All these similarly titled dark book name. There are too many black books called similarly roguish things. Did I have a without magic stack over here? Hmm. Maybe I'll be here for the rest of my life. I'm just David after dentist. Was this gonna be forever?
Surprised that the soundtrack isn't getting to me as like being overly loopy. I wonder how much like overall music there is.
Yeah, I haven't really noticed the music so far. Like, I've noticed that it's there, but it hasn't, like, stood out at all. Which is probably for the best for how long you're sitting in this. Especially if you're me and you're prolonging the experience. Complete Guide to Stealth Magic. And there's a lot of reading in being a magician. Who wants to do that? I already had a concealment of nearby objects stack. Oh, there it is, right? Yes. Oh. I really wish I could say I have a system, but there's just so many similar-ish books here, and I'm just trying to, like, keep them in separate stacks as best as I can.
Yep.
There's always more. Have I still not made a stack for hiding the art of hiding one's presence? Really? I keep seeing it. Do I keep throwing it back in the stack because I don't want to deal with it?
It's a little bit like the purple books were the edge pieces, and now you're just in the morass of center jigsaw pieces. They're all the same color. Crim, I like my power wash thumbnail Sona. It was very on point. People don't have a lot of like reference to go with my Sona, so you nailed it. That's the vibe.
It is a struggle, yeah, like your character doesn't really show up anywhere. You're like a secret persona. Okay.
I did kind of struggle with that early on, where it felt like I like didn't really relate to. You know, it feels bad, you know, when furries have their sort of agreed upon language of gift giving and showing friendship through sonas, and it's kind of like, I don't really care about that. But I see a lot of like bar artists where it's kind of like that, like they don't really have an interest in. Yeah, they've got their OCs that they're very passionate about, but like they don't really want to acknowledge themselves in their work.
That's interesting. That's a theme you've seen in that.
Yeah, well, it's just very like mangaka coded, where you've got they'll have the most amazingly in-depth detailed art style, and then like they draw themselves and they're just like a little gremlin in the corner drawn as like a stick person thing.
Yeah.
Or like a little mascot.
I've noticed that when I'm like
curtains.
Arabonbon draws himself in art of other characters, and he'll just be like this like barely coherent like cartoon figure.
I think it's like a lion with a beard. I was literally thinking about Arabonbon specifically when I said that.
Yeah, because he posted something like today, I think, like this like ultra detailed Bam Wolf art, but then he's in it and he's like barely a character. The contrast of specifically knowing how they normally draw just makes it all the more jarring that
Right.
you see them like barely drawing their character. Oopsie. I'm leaning forward so much, like I'm like at the I keep being like.
Are you shrimping?
A little, it's probably like I'm sitting with like I'm like wrapped around my own knee, but like my mouse is like it keeps finding its way all the way to the end of the mouse pad, and I'm like, why am I all the way up here? What's going on here? The lurking darkness. I wish I could fucking sort this better. It's one of those cases where like, this video game would be easier by hand. Because I would simply sort all these books by hand in little stacks. Like, elegantly, instead of insanely. Is Lurking in the Darkness somehow also a new book? There's so many black books that just say like stealth or darkness on them. I'm gonna tear my entire head off. I'm like running out of top floor for the sheer number of books I have spread out across here. Yeah, these are just actually blue. Different book. No. The Codex of Stealth Arts. Fucking C++ books.
Yeah, needing to rely on the physics for this part seems like really painful.
It's here to torture me. I should really be wrapping up because we like largely lost our B team, so there's not a lot going on commentary wise. And I'm like 11 hours deep. At some point, I'm just making bad content because I don't want to stop playing the video game.
Gotta carry this shit. This is no longer just my second monitor viewing comfort zone. I'm in the room with the second monitor. Coming right at me.
I've summoned you in after taunting you about it for like 8 hours.
You asked for this.
So when are you making a visual novel?
I honestly, Nanoff's thing really, you done did it now. Now we're not going to stop for another 40 minutes. Nanoff's thing was really interesting because, like, wow, that is a thought that I've had on many an occasion of like, this is an amount of text or just like, you know, narrative exposition that would be fucking hell for a comic. I think we talked about that earlier in the stream even. But like is kind of just right for a minimal amount of like visual engagement with the little like the mouth flaps, the various poses, and then using like the thought bubbles as almost like kind of mini CGs for whatever other idea you want to get across. I have conceptualized stuff like that, so that was very much like Nanoff is bringing to life like an idea I think probably a lot of artists have had when they think about like what their visual novel would be like. It's so much more interesting than like your average derivative like dating sim farce. Just like, wow, imagine having like a direction and you're not just kind of like phoning it in because like, who cares, dating sims, right? I always hate how like kind of tongue-in-cheek a lot of that stuff feels, where it's like we're just like kind of coasting along the normal language that like every single dating sim visual novel has had for years now, and it's like but what have you cared about your project? And we're just kind of regurgitating the same thing. So yeah, wow, Nanoff really, it looked like the first 2 parts were out, and it's like going to be like 4 parts. I need to download it and give it a shot. I've personally come to the conclusion of like, if I ever do make a visual novel, I'm gonna like grab Ka or somebody that's good at writing, Keith. Just like I need, because you've got time for that, right? Like you can totally, you're not writing anything else.
I've got nothing else going on.
Yeah, no other projects. But it's like, I did just like have that thought because I was like meandering around with scripts, and I'm kind of like, wow, I would feel bad if somebody had to spend their time reading this. It's like, as much as I'm like trying my best, I really do just feel like I don't have it in me to like have like a rolling prose that goes on for pages and pages without getting stupid. It's just, there's like a point where it's like when I like read back multiple pages, I'm like, this is such it's like, I'm not going to use stuff that we've read as like a jumping off point here, but it's just that you can see how like certain VNs have gotten to where they were, where it's like, ooh, this is many different writing sessions that have not blended together naturally. And just the curve, the emotional curve is all over the place, and it just feels bad. It's trying to anticipate like the time that somebody's going to spend with your work is so hard. Like I struggle with that just with comics, where I'm like, 80 pages takes a long ass time to read, actually. What the hell am I doing? And it's like, you have to think about the fact that like your reader is going to stew in whatever atmosphere you're creating in a given moment. And like, you need to not overly do it with any one thing, or else it becomes a bad time. It's like, you might have a lot of exposition to get across, but it's like you need to fucking move on because we've been stuck in the lore zone for too long.
I think sometimes about like Dangpa's comic that turned out to be Incubi, and
right,
the number of pages it took to get to Incubi wasn't completely crazy, because you could have potentially, in different contexts, you could have delivered that as like a single comic book, where that was revealed in the first volume. But as a weekly, as a 1 page a week or 1 page every other week sort of release that visual novel, that furry comics tend to be released at with the Patreon model and everything, that's such a slow time that it takes like
turns into years,
months. Yeah, it's even its own thing about like thinking about like these games I play like being either in the form of a stream or a let's play, and how differently those are going to be. Me anticipating how like this playthrough has done bizarrely well today as like a fuck around stream thing, but will probably not be as well received as a series of released let's play type things. Even if it's technically the same content, the context and the release schedule can change things. And it's like something that I'm just not always in control of, because that's just the format available to me. And sometimes, like, yeah, people plan their comic in a context where they just think about, like, I read this comic, I want to make a comic that's like that or something, and they might format it based on another comic they saw. But if that other comic isn't specifically released as a webcomic, then it might not be received the same way regardless, because that was released as like a comic book that you like, that was bought at a store, but you're putting out like a weekly webcomic that stops at that page of wherever you put out and then stays there in that form for like a week or two each time. And that changes the experience a lot.
No, without getting into like the nitty-gritty details of my own comic, it's like that is like my main takeaway of like where I think it's a lot better than the pool party. God, the pool party was bad, just writing wise. But it like I'm left with that feeling where it's like I got across the stuff that I wanted to get across, but like, man, I feel it in my bones that like I think people who would normally like my stuff are probably a little tired and would like to get the hell on to the next set of characters or the next plot point. It's just like, you gotta actually like think about that and not just be like it's my story and I'm gonna tell it the way I want. Like, sometimes people's opinions are good to listen to, actually.
They call their mana dark energy.
But that is also, I think visual novels are like extremely powerful as a way to get past some of that, to like whatever degree you think you need to make something. It's just like, I am so thoroughly enjoying the one-shot style of VNs that Ka and Flog and you and like the monthly jams, not even just the monthly, because you know Ka's just putting these things out whenever the hell sometimes, and it's just kind of like, yeah, that is actually what I'm down for when I download a VN. It's like I don't
having a clear point and working towards it instead
thing.
of making a 700-year-long project. Yeah. What the fuck does dark mana mean in this context?
I think Kihu was saying for a while that I still need to read fucking Sweet Leaves. They put out what seems to be like, you know, one of the more high production value fucking visual novels in a while. And it was teasing it for so long, and they're working on chapter 2, but I have not taken the time to read it yet. And I've like bought one of his books, and it's like I know that his writing style is at least good enough to entertain me for like a sitting. So I'm sure it's enjoyable, whatever it is.
Like, why are these two and only these two right here? That's confusing. No more healer diff. I'm gonna have to start moving these things because it's gonna not make any sense when I start putting things on these shelves. If there's old ones that were just there for sorting purposes. Well, that's the ultimate upside of the furry fandom, is just that you can, it's endlessly people just encouraging each other to make things, even if not directly, then just like accidentally, because people are just making shit everywhere, and you're like, ah, but what if I made shit? What if I made shit though? Have you thought about that?
Once again, as I watch all of our like Liar playthrough, I'm like, I may have come away not loving everything about that visual novel, but it's like, yeah, Mac, you better give us Driz. I want it. I want to see whatever the next thing is, because like, I'm glad that you took the time to put this thing out there.
I gotta be careful here, yeah. Most of these aren't supposed to be here. It's from when I was sorting white books. But they're all like missing one book. But if I leave them here, I'll be confused about what's supposed to be here and what's not. Yeah, I wish I had more time to work on visual novels all the time. I technically do have time, I just have to, like, give up on the idea of other projects completely, and I'm not ready to do that. But I'm also failing to make those projects for years at a time, which is frustrating.
Even if I had a writer, it's like I know I would have to basically, like, declare comic stuff on hiatus for at least a little while, even if it's just a one-off thing. Again, Dax, the shining inspiration, a beam of just art and creativity that he is, like, his thing was like my model VN for a while, the Claw Star Wrestling. It's just kind of like, wow, you did just kind of make like a Doujin as like a one-off. And again, I know it wasn't supposed to be a one-off, but it's just kind of like, if he never makes another chapter of that, it still kind of works as just what it is.
I was supposed to write a chapter of that.
Oh, was that how that was gonna go?
It was, it
like
came up.
Sort of?
I wasn't supposed to be chapter 2 or anything, but I was supposed to write a side thing for that. We talked about it like over a year ago, and then I didn't quite get there. I was gonna write a side story in it, because he already did a side story with that indulgent like elephant scene, I think, if I remember correctly.
Oh, right.
And I was gonna do something like that, but for Argo and Lynn as an AU. But then I didn't get around to doing that still. I got like a decent amount into it, but got demoralized about something. Compendium of useless magic around the world.
It probably is Doujin. Yeah, I said it totally wrong. Chat is correct. Again, internet terms that I just like see and type and never say.
Mm-hmm. Useless magic. Useless magic around the world is an annoying category to hit me with. I'm like, history? No. Oh, everyday magic? That's... Wow. I would imagine that everyday magic is useful magic. Is it useful to have a compendium of useless magic in your everyday section? Okay, I think I've fully cleansed this area of my temporary sorting, at least. I'm not gonna be confused about that later.
Yeah, it's just occurred to me. It's like whenever you put this thing down, you're going to lose some amount of brain cells between then and when you next pick this up. Like, oh god, why did I do it this way?
The Death's Note. 1, 2, and 3. That's probably all of the Death Note series, actually. The Other World, demanding fresh graduates with 10 years of experience.
I think this game might have a demographic, Keith.
Uh-huh. Oh, they're just gonna call it fucking The Other World, and I guess I know it goes in the Other World area. The C++ books are very funny. You can't fool me, these are mostly the same books. I don't like that there's a stealth arts book and a stealth magic book. It's like trying to keep these separate is actually hell. Concealment of nearby objects in one shadow. Big guide to shadow magic. It's like, did I find all of any of these at all? One thing for sure is I can probably take most of them to the whatever stealth section there is. Just put them all on different rows till I find the rest of them. A lot of the remainder's getting pretty brown, so probably should have been over here. Which I'll then have to make sense of later.
my end, I definitely told myself that all I needed to do on this comic was like 2 more hours of work, but I've got my own library mania happening here, and I'm just like, no, just what if I just like did a few more rounds of like rim lighting? What if I just...
I've been struggling with art lately.
It's never done, Keith. It's never done. Don't let your brain tell you that it's done, because it's
never
not done.
It's never done, but also just on a given day, I'll just be like, I don't know what to do next on this thing. Like, I know it's not done, but I just like don't have a clear image of where I'm going with it next, or what I need to change or work on next. I just don't have enough of a process, and it's a nightmare. Oops, there's a world without magic, which I just got rid of. Whoops. Alright, well, that's the gist of white and black, kind of sorted, but not on shelves. Ooh. Okay, so in the future, I think I'm gonna have to start looking at the genres of things as I unpack them and just putting them away. Like, I'll unpack a particular pile based on its color into what I can find that matches. But then I've got to take the big piles that I do have and just take them to the right shelf, even if they're a partial fit, and just be like, that's gonna have to be enough until I find the one leftover book, because leaving them on the floor just doesn't work when you spread them out like that. But it'll slowly make sense if I can just like group up the right ones. These lizard ones are so visible right here. The World Encyclopedia of Dragons. Alright, well it is 1 a.m. and I still need to have dinner after having not had lunch or anything all day.
Oh my god.
Yeah. This was a choice. I just played this game for 12 hours straight, and I am, by one metric, a quarter done, and by the other metric, a third done. Although, if we're being honest, having books correctly placed is obviously the metric of how far you are, in a granular sense. It leaves behind all the sorting you've done and all the ones that are grouped on the floor but not on the shelf yet. So I might be like half done as far as like, not the actual results, but just like having a lot of the actual work that you put into the game done. But yeah, only going by complete rows, a lot of stuff doesn't count yet. Anyway, this was a silly day that I spent strangely. Now watch me come right back and do it tomorrow.
Oh, good lord.